Mengumumkan ketibaan Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad, Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia, diiringi oleh Yang Berhormat Dr. Lee Boon Chye, Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Chen Chow Min, Ketua Setiausaha Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia, diiringi oleh Div-Div Kehormat Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Hadirin dipersilakan duduk. Salam sejahtera dan selamat tengah hari. Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad, Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia. Yang Berhormat Dr. Lee Boon Chye, Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia. Yang Berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Chen Chow Min, Ketua Setiausaha Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Timbalan Ketua Setiausaha, semua timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan, pengarah-pengarah kanan, pengarah-pengarah bahagian, Presiden dan Exco Persatuan-Persatuan Perubatan, Persatuan Perubatan Malaysia, MMA, MPCAM, Perdim, Federation of Private Medical Practitioners Association Malaysia, semua pengawal perubatan Swasta, wakil-wakil media yang sudi hadir untuk membuat liputan dan tidak melupakan semua yang sedang menonton siaran secara langsung melalui portal Facebook rasmi Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk, Datin, Tuan-Tuan, Puan-Puan dan hadirin sekalian, syukur kehadrat ilahi kerana dengan izinnya kita diberi peluang untuk bersama-sama dalam sesi Town Hall Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan bersama Pengamal-Pengamal Perubatan Swasta. Majlis mengalu-alukan kehadirin para hadirin serta mengucapkan selamat datang ke sesi yang amat bermakna ini. Selain itu, saya mewakili pihak urus setia ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Para hadirin sekalian, tanpa melengahkan masa, dijemput Dr. Badrul Hisham bin Kasmiran dari Bahagian Amalan Perubatan KKM untuk memimpin bacaan doa. Dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in. Allahumma ya Rahman ya Rahim. Segala pujimu bagimu yang mempunyai segala sifat keagungan dan kesempurnaan. Kepadamu sahaja kami sembah dan hanya kepadamu kami memohon pertolongan dan perlindungan. Allahumma ya mujibat da'wat wa qadiyal hajat. Pada petang yang penuh berkah ini, kami dengan penuh khusyuk menadah tangan tunduk menzahirkan kesyukuran di atas inayah dan hidayahmu agar dapat kami melaksanakan sesi Town Hall Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Menteri Kesihatan bersama Pengamal Perubatan Swasta. Allahumma ya Karim, ya Rahim, ya Fa'alul lima yurid. Sesungguhnya tanpa hidayah, bimbingan dan panduan darimu, maka sesi town hall ini tidak akan berjaya. Dengan itu, ya Allah, jadikanlah sesi town hall ini sebagai forum bagi mewujudkan kesatuan hati dan fikiran kami untuk merencana tindakan dalam usaha membentuk masyarakat yang sihat serta bijak dalam penjagaan kesihatan. Allahumma ya dzal jalali wal ikram. Kami juga memohon kepadamu, semoga sesi town hall yang akan dilaksanakan ini akan menghasilkan keputusan-keputusan yang tepat dan terbaik untuk membolehkan kami menjadikannya sebagai panduan dalam melaksanakan amanah yang diberikan bagi menetapkan hasrat dan cita-cita untuk memberi kesejahteraan kepada rakyat dalam memartabatkan agama, bangsa dan negara kami yang tercinta ini. Rabbana 'alaika tawakkalna wa ilaika anabna wa ilaikal masir. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azaban nar. Wassallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallim. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Terima kasih Dr. Badrul atas penyampaian lafaz doa sebentar tadi. Hadirin sekalian, seterusnya majlis menjemput dan mempersilakan Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad, Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia untuk menyampaikan ucapan beliau. Dengan segala hormatnya dipersilakan Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri.
Terima kasih Puan Pengacara Majlis. Yang berhormat Dr. Lee Boon Chye, Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan. Yang berbahagia Datuk Sri Dr. Chen Chow Min, Ketua Setiausaha Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Muhammad Syafiq Abdullah, Timbalan Ketua Setiausaha Kewangan. Yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Haji Rohaizat Haji Yun, Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan Perubatan. Yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Chong Chi Kiong, Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan Awam. Yang bahagia Datuk Dr. Christopher Lee, Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan, Penyelidikan dan Sokongan Teknikal. Ketua SUB, Pengarah Kanan, Pengarah yang berusaha, Presiden dan Exco daripada Persatuan-Persatuan Perubatan, daripada MMA, Malaysian Medical Association, kita berikan tepukan kepada mereka. Daripada MPCAM, Medical Practitioner Coalition Association of Malaysia, tepukan untuk mereka. Daripada Perdim, Pertubuhan Doktor-Doktor Islam Malaysia, dan daripada PM, Federation of Private Medical Practitioners Association Malaysia, para pengamal perubatan swasta yang datang dari seluruh negara, semua yang menonton acara ini secara langsung melalui portal Facebook rasmi Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Saya juga dipahamkan ada beberapa YB kita di sini, sama ada ahli parlimen maupun adun. Dan tidak ketinggalan saya untuk merakamkan pengiktirafan kepada rakan-rakan media, seluruh datuk-datuk, hadirin tuan-tuan, puan-puan hadirin sekalian. Saya mulakan dengan ucapan Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera semua. Dan selamat petang saya ucapkan kepada semua pegawai kanan Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia juga. Yang pertama saya lafaz syukur kehadrat ilahi kerana dengan izinnya dapat kita berkumpul pada petang yang mulia ini dalam suasana hari raya. Terima kasih diucapkan kepada barisan urus setia untuk usaha gigih ini untuk menjayakan sesi town hall bersama pengamal perubatan swasta pada hari ini 11 Jun yang sangat dinanti-nantikan. Tepukan untuk mereka atas usaha gigih mereka yang telah menghimpunkan lebih daripada 800, meskipun pada awal hampir 1,400 berdaftar untuk hadir. Saya juga merakamkan terima kasih kepada semua yang datang, semua pengamal perubatan swasta yang datang daripada jauh dan dekat untuk bersama-sama dalam sesi town hall ini. ya, dan ini adalah julung-julung kalinya seorang Menteri Kesihatan berani berdepan dengan pengamal perubatan swasta. Ya, bercakap mengenai persoalan berani atau tidak ini, saya perlu mengungkap apa yang pernah diungkapkan oleh seorang Presiden Amerika, John F. Kennedy, ya, ketika beliau menyebutkan begini. Dalam semangat itu juga saya mulakan. So let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness, and sincerity is always subject to proof. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. I would paraphrase, never fear to engage, but never engage out of fear. Itu semangat kita berjumpa pada petang ini, dan saya penuh yakin bahawa di hujung pertemuan kita ini, kita akan dapat paling tidaknya untuk sama-sama untuk kita be on the same page on many issues that we look forward to, at least to have some amicable resolution and the thinking ahead for the entire health care delivery di negara kita ini. Tidak ketinggalan kalau saya juga mengambil peluang ini. Kita masih berada dalam 7 Syawal, ya, masih lagi dalam semangat Hari Raya. Dan saya juga ingin merakamkan ucapan selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, maaf zahir batin kepada semua yang menyambut di bulan mulia ini. Semoga ya persaudaraan kita ini akan terjalin dengan usaha kita pada petang ini. Ya, saya tahu ramai yang masih lagi belum mula berpuasa 6, tapi tak apa, kita sama-sama lalui ini dengan semangat, satu semangat persaudaraan, semangat camaraderie dan semangat persaudaraan di sebuah negara Malaysia baru di bawah kepimpinan Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Dr. Mahathir, yang mau menyaksikan terjalinnya satu civility dan satu semangat Malaysia baru di bawah kepimpinan yang baru, bawah pemerintahan kali kedua Yang Amat Berhormat Tun Dr. Mahathir. Hadirin sekalian, kerjasama antara KKM dan pengamal perubatan swasta, ya, sama ada pengamal perubatan amat atau pakar, telah lama terjalin sebenarnya. Ya, khususnya melalui engagement bersama persatuan-persatuan profesional perubatan. Ya. Namun begitu, ia adalah julung kalinya KKM menganjurkan sesi sebegini, ya, untuk memberikan peluang secara langsung, ya, kepada pengamal perubatan swasta, ya, secara langsung, secara bersua wajah, bersua muka dengan saya khususnya dan pengurusan pimpinan tertinggi KKM. Ya. Ini saya sangat sanjungi dan saya sangat mengiktiraf kehadiran tuan-tuan yang ada ke yang tutup klinik hari ini. Did you close down your clinic or do you have other? So Datuk Seri KSU kata we got to be prepared. More will come to our facilities. Apapun saya ucapkan tahniah kerana mengambil inisiatif untuk hadir, dan saya sangat memahami semangat antara sebab kenapa tuan-tuan hadir pada sesi town hall ini. Ya. Jadi sesi town hall ini kita harapkan akan menjadi sebuah platform, satu forum, satu diskurs, ya, bagi anggota-anggota pengurusan tertinggi KKM juga mendengar langsung daripada tuan-tuan pengamal perubatan swasta tentang cabaran-cabaran yang dihadapi oleh tuan-tuan dalam memberikan perkhidmatan kesihatan kepada rakyat seluruhnya. It's a two-way traffic here. Ya. Peranan dan sumbangan pengamal perubatan swasta dalam sama-sama memastikan ya kesihatan rakyat sentiasa terjaga memang tidak dapat dinafikan. Your role has all along been recognized, ya. Dan sektor perkhidmatan kesihatan swasta berfungsi sebagai pelengkap kepada perkhidmatan yang diberikan oleh pihak kerajaan dan fasiliti-fasiliti awam, ya. Kerjasama antara KKM dengan pengamal perubatan swasta bukanlah perkara baru. Seperti mana saya telah tegaskan, hal ini dapat diperhatikan melalui kerjasama dalam menjalinkan saringan ke atas pekerja asing dengan klinik-klinik perubatan swasta, ya, menjadi klinik panel for MIMA. Ya, KKM memandang tinggi komitmen klinik-klinik panel ini yang telah menyaksikan saringan penyakit-penyakit di kalangan pekerja asing di negara ini yang berjaya mencegah penularan penyakit-penyakit berjangkit. Walaupun mesti ada isu-isu tertentu, tapi ia bukan satu yang baru dari sudut kerjasama ini. Yang terbaru juga adalah pelibatan pengamal perubatan swasta dalam skim peduli kesihatan untuk kumpulan bawah 40 ataupun PKB40, ya, sejak dilaksanakan pada 15 April sebagai satu pilot project sehingga 10 Jun lalu, sejumlah 1040 pengamal perubatan swasta telah berdaftar untuk menyertai skim ini. Terima kasih. Ia merupakan 13.2% ya, jumlah GP seluruh negara. Ya, sejumlah pesakit telah pun disaring dengan pengamal perubatan swasta mencecah, ya, pesakit-pesakit mencecah hampir 12,000 orang. For this first pilot project, we were allocated 100 million. And to tell you the truth, we have only spent only 500,000. If consultation fees is about 48 million, then we have only spent 1% of what we were allocated. There's a lot more that we need to go for untuk saringan program PKB40, program yang telah kita asaskan sebagai sebuah pentadbiran baru, dan saya sendiri ya mau mengadakan satu game changer ya dalam in addressing, dalam menangani NCDs. And we believe the way forward for promotive, preventive and even predictive medicine and healthcare is through doing antara lain screening. Our neighbor across the causeway declared war against diabetes, and they have put in place every single citizen to be screened for diabetes. That's the way to go. For us to get them early, avoid all the sequelae and the complication, and cause of burden of disease will surely make economic sense. Jadi dengan itu, ya, contoh kerjasama ini adalah antara bukti bahawa pengamal perubatan dan swasta tidak pernah dipinggirkan kemampuannya dalam usaha untuk kerajaan memberikan perkhidmatan kesihatan yang terbaik untuk rakyat. Suka saya tekankan di sini juga dalam kita berdepan dengan perubahan pentadbiran negara pada hari ini, kerajaan akan terus ya mengambil berat akan peranan dan fungsi pengamal perubatan swasta sebagai the gatekeeper di peringkat penjagaan kesihatan prima, terutama dalam usaha kerajaan menyaringi penyakit-penyakit tidak berjangkit. This is the way I foresee the role of private practitioner, perubatan swasta, pengamal perubatan swasta as part of the gatekeeping role, and that function is very critical. Together with our clinics, yeah, the 6,000 over clinics of the GPs will play this. This will be the way we all should be gathered here to be concerned over the state of primary health care in Malaysia. And primary health care indeed is the most critical foundation of any health services and has been our priority for decades. We could only enhance that, and with your help together, we will ensure to exercise the gatekeeping role of primary health care together with our private practitioners. And a big round of applause for all of you for serving us for decades. And moving forward, we want to only enhance this further. Yeah. Hadirin sekalian, kerajaan mendengar dan mengambil maklum akan cabaran-cabaran yang dihadapi oleh pengamal-pengamal perubatan swasta dalam menyampaikan perkhidmatan mereka. We care, we listen, we have our ears on the ground. We, particularly the new administration, we are engaged, always engaged through social media, through Putrajaya, through Facebook, through all the means of communication. Antaranya kita sangat faham kenaikan kos untuk mengendalikan klinik perubatan swasta yang menyukarkan klinik-klinik ini untuk mengekalkan operasi. I understand of the statistic of numbers of clinics that were closed in the recent time. But we will have to deal with this and discuss this in this meeting, in this pertemuan ini. Isu-isu berkaitan MCOs dan cadangan kawalan harga ubat dilihat oleh pengamal perubatan swasta sebagai faktor yang mengancam kesinambungan, the survival of klinik-klinik perubatan swasta. Very, well noted, and we took notice of that. And not only that, saya perlu sebutkan juga bagaimana akan diterangkan nanti our attempt at addressing the 7 fee schedule. Ya, saya kena terangkan sikit dulu. Ya, 7 fee schedule wasn't rejected by cabinet. It was a case of them wanting us to get it again be passed dalam majlis ya tindakan sara hidup, dan insyaallah we will then present it again. On 24th of April last, I presented this, and saya yakin all of you must understand where we are coming from in the light of the new government managing the economy, and with the cost of living rising. It wasn't perhaps the opportune time to address this, but there was an all-around support. It's a question of timing. It's a question of how we will frame it. And again, when we are ready, setelah kita sampaikan dan bentangkan kepada Majlis Tindakan Sara Hidup Nasional, we will then again present it. And I believe this synchronization, penyelarasan ini, harmonization ini is well due, and we hope then you will experience akan diterima. There will be buying in from the cabinet, and I have never at all relapse ataupun relax on that. I have given my gallant fight, and I will do it again to ensure that you are given your justice, your appropriate commensurate fees. Itu yang boleh saya sebutkan, dan mungkin kita akan bincangkan perkara ini lagi. Ya, daripada aspek latihan dan pengiktirafan juga pengamal perubatan swasta, langkah sewajarnya telah kami diambil menurut laluan alternatif untuk latihan dalam bidang perubatan keluarga. This is the way to go as we strengthen and fortify our primary care and primary health care. We need our GPs, private GPs particularly, to embrace, this idea of making our gatekeeping role, to be handled by those that have also got training in family medicine. Either you got to go through the FRA, say GP, or the parallel program, or even the FMS program. And finally, we envisage that one day we will really strengthen our primary care through our family medicine practice and family medicine specialists as the gatekeeper of our primary care. That's the way to go, and I'm looking at you all to ensure that kita mampu untuk menjayakan program ini. And I hope you will be ready to do that, and this is the way for us to go forward. Ya, kita diharapkan dengan laluan alternatif ini, kelab pengamal perubatan swasta akan mempunyai lebih pilihan dan peluang untuk latihan. I'm sure you got to come with commensurate monetary kind of benefit. You got to be incentivized. You got to be mutually rewarding. You don't go into training unless you see at the end of the day there is some surely mutually rewarding kind of exercise, and this is the way to go. Jadi kalau boleh saya sebutkan, namun begitu kita perlu jelaskan di sini bahawa membuat sebarang keputusan. So in the face of all these issues, there are 4 or 5 issues that are the more predominant issues. Ya, saya sangat sedar dan sangat insaf. Saya sangat aware, and I'm fully aware of the issues. And today, hari ini kita akan berpeluang untuk don't shoot at me, shoot at these officers. If you want to shoot at me, I'll deflect it to them. I will also be here as a panelist, so but they will be answering most of this question. So kita akan mendepani, we will face and handle this together. As I said earlier, we never fear to negotiate, never fear to engage, dan kita akan lakukan ini, in the best of spirit, in the most ambience of civility, and camaraderie, so that we will all together have a productive and fruitful outcome of this town hall meeting. Jadi dengan itu, saya juga mengambil. I think I've just come to the end of my short intro speech. Jadi saya yakin tuan-tuan dan datuk, tuan-tuan, puan-puan sekalian semua sangat memahami where we are coming from. While we totally empathize with all of you and your predicament, or your, facing all these problems and whatever that you face, we on our part, we truly empathize this. But at the end of the day, you also got to know where we are coming from. We would put all this in place as our economy will be. Kita akan dapat perkembangkan ekonomi kita. will propel our growth. It is what Yang Berhormat Tun Dr. Mahathir sebagai Perdana Menteri, Menteri Kewangan, Menteri Hal Ehwal Urusan Ekonomi, semuanya kami mahukan we improve on our performance by way of economic growth, and insyaAllah with that, we can really roll out many other programs. Jadi, kalau saya tutupkan atau saya akhirkan di sini, as a conclusion, and in conclusion, pengamal perubatan am swasta dan KKM perlu terus bersama-sama berganding bahu dalam memastikan rakyat Malaysia terus mampu mendapat akses kepada perkhidmatan kesihatan terbaik. Just about a month ago, in the World Health Assembly, as a country remark, I spoke for about 5 minutes on universal health coverage, leaving no one behind. So situation like what happened in Gua Musang these last few days certainly is going to cause a dent on our, on our credibility and whatnot. And we're looking at, gatekeeping role of private practitioners, pengamal-pengamal swasta am swasta yang akan juga membantu saya. So with all that, justru itu saya sangat berharap agar sesi town hall ini menjadi permulaan untuk mencari a win-win kind of solution. Penyelesaian menang-menang, demi kelangsungan perkhidmatan pengamal perubatan am swasta khususnya dan kebajikan rakyat amnya, khususnya di underserved, khususnya the marginalized group. And I'm looking at you to ensure that kita sama-sama menjayakan visi dan misi ini. Sekian, terima kasih atas segala sokongan dan kerjasama untuk hadir dalam sesi town hall ini. Saya yakin kita punya a fulfilling, productive and fruitful discussion. Sekali lagi, wabillahi taufiq walhidayah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A big thank you for all your kind intention.
Terima kasih Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri di atas ucapan yang amat komprehensif sebentar tadi. Seterusnya, majlis ingin memperkenalkan ahli-ahli panel yang akan bersama kita pada hari ini selain Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan. Bersama kita pada hari ini adalah Yang Berhormat Dr. Lee Boon Chye, Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Dr. Chen Chow Min, Ketua Setiausaha Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Datuk Dr. Haji Rohaizad bin Haji Yon, Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan Perubatan Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia. Dr. Ramli bin Zainal, Pengarah Kanan Perkhidmatan Farmasi. Dan Dr. Ahmad Razid bin Saleh, Pengarah Bahagian Amalan Perubatan. Hadirin sekalian, tibalah kita kepada acara kemuncak pada hari ini. Majlis dengan segala hormatnya menjemput Dr. Muhammad Ahsan untuk mengendalikan sesi dialog Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan bersama pengamal-pengamal perubatan am swasta. Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Dr. Mala. Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera kepada semua. Nama saya Dr. Muhammad Ahsan dan saya akan menjadi moderator untuk anda sepanjang acara ini. Pertama sekali, kita mengucapkan selamat datang kepada semua yang hadir di sini dan juga terima kasih kepada Datuk Seri YB Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly bin Ahmad, YB Dr. Lee Boon Chye, pengurusan tertinggi KKM, ahli-ahli tertinggi, pengurusan tertinggi dan juga Exco Persatuan-Persatuan, para pengamal perubatan am swasta dan hadirin sekalian. Selamat datang ke acara sesi Town Hall YB Menteri Kesihatan. Izinkan saya untuk meneruskan acara ini dalam dua bahasa. Okay. First and foremost, I would like to say that upon the closing of the registration for this event, we got a total of 1,153 GPs who had signed up. Okay. I think that it's a very commendable number, and as of a few minutes ago, the latest count stands at 821. So I think there's still more people who are trickling in, and we'll give you the total number, the final number at the end of this event. So let me just explain that the objective of why we are all assembled here today, following the decision by the Cabinet on the revision on the harmonization of the 7-fee schedule, there were requests that the GPs wanted to meet YB Datuk Seri, YB Dr. Lee Boon Chye, as well as the entire KKM top management, and they wanted it done at the soonest. Hence, this was the earliest date that we could arrange after the Aidil Fitri celebrations, and that I think that you all deserve a big round of applause despite being at short notice, a large number had put up, and also a big thank you to the organizers of this event for putting up such a wonderful venue for us to have this. So without wasting much time, I'm going to just go straight into how this event is going to unfold. We are first going to begin with highlighting the objective of this, as I mentioned just now, is that YB Datuk Seri and the entire top management of KKM wanted to give each and every one of you, if possible, being represented here, to speak up directly in front of all of us here, so that despite, on top of what has already been discussed before, we can crystallize matters further. So the format of today's event, we are first going to invite the representatives from Malaysian Medical Association, MPCAM, PERDIM and FPM-PAM to first give their piece, followed by the answer by the panel, and then subsequently we'll open the floor to all of you. All right? Shortly after, my colleagues will be around this hall distributing cards to those of you who would like to ask questions. So without much further ado, I would like to welcome Dr. Arasu from the Malaysian Medical Association to come on stage and give his piece. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Hassan. And first of all, selamat sejahtera pada Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad, Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia. Yang berhormat Yang berhormat Dr. Lee Boon Chye, Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia, dan juga para pengurusan tertinggi daripada KKM, dan juga sahabat-sahabat saya sekalian yang datang daripada seluruh Malaysia. Okey. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan, kerana inilah julung kalinya seorang Menteri Kesihatan berani dan juga sincere in engaging the private practitioners. This is the first time. Okay? And then 5 isu yang akan kita bentangkan hari ini adalah satu isu yang sangat hangat dan terlewat 27 tahun. Itu adalah 7th fee schedule for GPs. Second issue is managed care organisation ataupun organisasi jagaan terurus, juga isu 20 tahun. Okay, enhancing GP adalah isu yang membawa kita ke masa hadapan. Dan 2 lagi isu adalah medicine price control dan juga dispensing separation. Okay, isu pertama, 7th fee schedule. First of all, I think it is very important for us to know that Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly and also the KKM, they have been in full support of the 7th fee schedule. In fact, there are many officers like Dr. Ahmad, Dr. Arshinda, Dr. Fedra, Dr. Afida, who have worked very tirelessly even to lobby in other ministries to support this. Okay, I think for that, I think we have to acknowledge that their support for us in this. Okay, however, we are very, very disappointed with the decision made by the cabinet of the current cabinet for deferring the 7th fee schedule. I think it is very important. I think it's very important for the cabinet ministers to understand it may be a political decision by them, but having said that, they also must understand we are also stakeholders. We are also stakeholders. We are also Rakyat Malaysia, and we have 30,000 employees under us, serving 5.9 million patients visits every month. So I think we are very, very important stakeholders that we feel we have been neglected. So we hope the cabinet will take note of this. And the other thing is that the cabinet do not have to fear, because ini bukanlah kenaikan fee. Isu ini memang dah diluluskan pada 2013 akibat isu-isu teknikal. Fee untuk pengamal perubatan swasta itu terlepas. So ini hanyalah harmonisasi. Kita juga telah mengadakan banyak stakeholders engagement, kerajaan lama dan juga kerajaan baru. Okay, so much of work people we have done on this part. And it is important for the media to understand also, we are the only country in the world that regulates the professional fees. The only country in the world. And today, the kind of processes that we go through to ask for revision, to ask for harmonization, practically, sorry to use this word, we have to beg everybody. And we feel it's very unfair to treat someone who spent 5 to 6 years in their medical universities, and we are the only profession that we have to do national service 4 to 5 years to serve the nation, any part of the country. Whether you're in Kuala Karai or Goa Musang or in Lahad Datu or Tawau, the same. Okay, so I think it is very, very important for the cabinet to understand on this. So what we are requesting is that we are requesting, as we know that Majlis Tindakan Kos Rakyat, this is another precedent that we are very, very concerned. Is this going to be the trend in the future when there's a revision? These are things that the cabinet should take it very, very seriously. Okay, what we are hoping is that cabinet to expedite this process and then get the harmonization soon as possible. That is our request and solution. Okay, the other thing is that we also request for the health ministry to review the law, to review the regulation for the revision of the fee. There is a provision under the law, there is a regular revision, but there's no timeline. So the current revision, it is all from 2006, it's almost 13 years. So we are left 13 years. We are asking it's quite difficult. And especially when you're in the private practice, I think it's very important for the public to understand. We are in the practice of medicine. When you come and see us, we treat you professionally, and we are governed by 50 over laws in the country. And then there is also a business of medicine. We need to run our practice. We need to pay rental. We need to pay our staff. We need to follow the law, the labor law. So there is a cost involved in all these things. So it is very important to understand. And most importantly, we are also very, very mindful that at the end of the day, the overall encounter cost will not increase drastically. Okay, that is very important, because why? If the cost increases, the patients won't come back to us. When the patient won't come back to us, we can't sustain our practice. So this is something that we would like to reassure the public outside that don't worry. We are still your friendly GP. We are still someone that you call us, and we give lots of free consultation. We do lots of CSR. I think this is very, very important. Okay. So I hope the 7th fee schedule is the lifeline of the practitioners in the country. If the government is not going to take this seriously, I think achieving universal health care by strengthening the primary care will be a failure. So I think it is important for the government to understand on that. Okay, now we move to issue number 2. Okay, issue number 2 is managed care organization atau organisasi jagaan terurus. It is very important to understand that this affects 7,000 general practitioners in the country, 3,000 private specialists, they are not left out. Okay, and also it involves 3 million patients in the country. From a market size of 100 over 1,000 20 years ago, the market size today is 1 billion ringgit. There is no control. There is no control. Of course, we understand there is a business part. I think it is not fair that you arm twist and then tie us up and then you ask us to do certain things. I think it's very important the ministry take note of this. And then what we are requesting over here is that a short-term solution and also a long-term solution. A short-term solution, we are talking about common contractual agreements. This is actually currently work in progress. The MMA and also with our fellow colleagues, we are working closely with Bagian Amalan under the leadership of Dr. Razid on this. We have done the first phase. We hope to conclude by end of this month. Okay, and there's also issue of fee splitting. So this is also, we have discussed about it. We hope there will be a clear definition of fee splitting from the AG's chamber on this, especially on the administrative fees. Okay, and also the need to regulate MCOs and TPS. Okay, what is our solution? Number 1, short term is mutual contractual agreement, and to enforce it, the Director General has to issue a circular. Okay, issue a circular to all the RMPs and also TPS to review the current contracts and to comply to the earlier circular sent by Datuk DG last year. By December, all this must be done. Okay, the second thing is that in 1998, the law was passed in the Parliament, PHFSA. In 2006, the regulation was enforced, gazetted and enforced. But then, there is a part 15 under the law which actually touches on the MCOs. But after 21 years after passing the law, there is no clear regulation. Correct me if I'm wrong. There is no clear regulation how to empower the enforcers to regulate the TPS. This is something that we want the ministry to look into this. We are hoping that by December 2020, the ministry can come out some kind of regulations for the TPS and MCO. And for this issue, we hope the relevant bahagian amalan will also update the minister on a monthly basis on the progress. This is also a lot of work we have done. The Malaysian Medical Association, together with our fellow colleague association, we have conducted more than 13 meetings with all the TPAs and come to an agreement. So we hope that this will also be a priority issue for the ministry to handle and report to the minister. Okay. Issue number 3 is enhancing general practitioner practice. Okay, as we know, under the Rancangan Malaysia ke-11 and also under the 8th pillar of healthcare transformation, 2 of the thing is early detection of NCDs, and also we are talking about enhancing primary care. Unfortunately, what we have realized is that the government has focused on the public facility, but they have neglected the private sector. The private sector, we must understand that it is self-finance. It's our money, our hard-earned money. Some borrow from Along, some borrow from the bank, some borrow from the parents. So there are many things how they're doing that. This is the real life. So many of the patients are thinking the GPs of the 1980s and 90s. That was different. Please look into the current status. It's very important. So I think we believe it's also very important to enhance the GPs. What we are requesting is that to establish a register of general practitioners, that is very important, and grandfathering existing GPs via practice-based assessment, not continuous exams. This is already done in Singapore in 2011. They started that in 2013. They've already made sure all these things are done. Okay, we do not have to reinvent the wheel. It's already there. We can follow the template and modify according to our local needs. Okay, and then there is also important to increase the public-private partnership collaboration. For any collaboration, for any businesses to take place to be very successful and to be sustainable, it is very important to have an early engagement. When we sit up there, we may not know what is happening on the ground. It is always important. Today in the modern world, we need to go to the ground and engage and ask what are the issues, what are your needs, what are the challenges, and how can we work together for a mutual benefit of the nation. So we urge the ministry to engage the general practitioners from the onset before coming out with any policy that touches the private sector. Okay. Our proposed solution is to include role of GP clinics in future policies. Number 2 is that to set up a task force under the Ministry of Health to enhance the private primary care as the gatekeepers. We have initiated one meeting with Dr. Rohaizat. It was a very fruitful meeting. We hope we can take it from there. And to have GPs focusing on preventive care, non-communicable diseases, as mentioned by Dr. Dzulkefly. And also set up a division with clear agenda and timeline for implementation. I think what is important is that we talk, we must execute, and there must be a timeline. Otherwise, I think it will be a waste of time for us to gather here. There must be a timeline for whatever we do. Whether it goes or not is secondary, but there must be a timeline. What are we going to achieve? I think that is very, very important. Okay, that is and the part of enhancing GP. The last 2 are very short issues. One is medicine price control. Okay, it must be remembered, of course, it must be remembered that medicine price control, while the government may have its reasons why they want to do that, at the end of the cost of medicines want to be controlled for various reasons. But it's also important for them to understand that the price control, you must look at the various ecosystem, the general practitioners, the private hospitals, other sectors. As far as the general practitioners, it's important for you to understand how the practice works, and you need to come out with that. For you to have if even they're thinking about having a price control, there must be more stakeholders engagement, concerns must be addressed, and you must harmonize the 7th fee schedule, and the annual auto revision mechanism of fee revision must be in place. Without that, you cannot enforce medicine price control. Okay, and finally, dispensing separation. Dispensing separation, nothing much to say. We are totally no for dispensing separation. That is understood. Okay? And we must remember, we should not reinvent the wheel. In December 2015, for 5 days, from 8 o'clock morning till 10 o'clock in the night, many of us are here. 7 GPs were there, in the stakeholders of 120 over people, whereby a decision was made, whereby dispensing separation may only be feasible under National Healthcare Financing Authority, under the Act. It must be under the Act of Parliament, and it has to be clear governance structure must be in place. Until that vehicle is done, let the current system continue. Okay. Finally, in 2015, the current Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan, Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, told the GPs were not united. What we did, we organized on the 3rd October 2015, 1,000 GPs gathered like this, and we invited the Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan sebagai tetamu terhormat. We submitted a memo. We got a lawyer, we prepared a memo, we sent to everybody. After 4 years, my stakeholders are asking me, what have you done? There's no outcome. But having said that, we truly trust and we strongly believe in the sincerity of our young Berhormat, Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad. I'm not trying to butter him. I think been working with him and his office very closely. I think he's very sincere, and sincerity will come with solution. YB, we hope that we will have a clear direction outlined with time. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Arasu, for that very passionate presentation. So before we go on to our next speaker, I would just want to, for the benefit of information of everybody present here, just want to inform that before this town hall session had begun, we had a small meeting with the heads of the 4 associations mentioned earlier. It was decided that Dr. Arasu, although he's from the Malaysian Medical Association, will be speaking representing the 4 associations. And that is for that reason he was given just slightly over 10 minutes to speak. So now we're going to call upon the representative from the other 3 associations who will each be given 4 minutes to speak. And without much further ado, I would like to call upon the representative from MP Chem, Dr. Peter Chan. Yeah, thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Selamat sejahtera, YB Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly, Dr. Lee, Datuk Seri Dr. Chen, Dr. Ahmad, Razi, Dr. Rozaihat, so I don't get wrong, Dr. Ramli. Okay. Thank you very much. Very good afternoon to all of you, para kehadiran hari ini. Ask ourselves, why are we here today? We left our clinic, we left our patients, and we must come here today. We do not get this type of opportunity anytime, anywhere. I don't know. I attended once about the harmonization, something like that, but nothing came out of it. So I hope this time, with all the representatives here, highest representative of KKM, I hope you will not disappoint us this time. Okay? Every time we attended a meeting, the association attends some meetings with KKM. We go home, went to the trouble, we write down the report, we post it on FB, and what do we get? Members will just say, so what? You attended meetings, pictures. Same thing also, the disease is no more there. Okay? So anytime we come up with a meeting, nobody really interested anymore. Same thing only like these people going and wasting time. They calling, they call you now. Tomorrow meeting, they call you today. Please come. You know, the KKM people, keep calling, hey, who is your representative? Send. No, the disease is no more there. We waste our time, we come here, we leave our clinics. Our profession is doctor, yes. So we must take care of patients, we make patients happy. We make them happy, we make them well. But at the end of the day, the doctor's welfare neglected. And who is our mother, our father? It's KKM. Okay? They only know how to over-regulate us, and pay us, not to say pay us, you only can charge $10, 10 ringgit to 35 ringgit maximum. Everybody's charged 10 ringgit. Why? So scared to charge 35 ringgit. That is the problem that is why the problem crop up with MCOs. Okay? The MCO took this opportunity and bully us. Okay? So it's very simple. KKM just had to come with a letter, please, no more 10 ringgit. 7, schedule fee harmonization is straightforward. I don't know what is skipping the KKM. Okay, maybe they have their own reason. We all due respect. We hope, please look into it properly. Okay? About dispensing separation, you killers. If you ever let it happen, please don't. I'm speaking not for myself, all the members here. Okay? We tell them, what are your problems? Please list out all your problems. We are going to meet KKM. These are the main problems. Harmonization, managed care, and please, no dispensing separation. Okay? I would like all of you to hear from the floor. And now for us, representative of the association, to talk. Let the floor ask you questions and you answer them directly. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much, Dr. Peter. Now I call upon Dr. Shanmuganathan from the Federation of Private Medical Practitioners Association of Malaysia.
Terima kasih Tuan Pengerusi. I will dispense with the usual honoraries and go straight to the point. Now, I was very disappointed when the cabinet decision came and they referred this matter to something called Sara Hidup. What the hell is this? This is something for subsidies, not for our fees. Anyway, Tun M directed that, so nobody will question that. Yeah? Now, what could have been done? Under the PHFSA, there is a provision called the power of the minister. And let me read. It's part 17, section 106, item 2. And it says, the minister may, from time to time, after consulting the Director General of Health, amend the fee schedule by order published in the Gazette. So I'm thinking all the minister has to do is to amend the schedule and get on with it. Why go to the cabinet? Why go to Sara Hidup? Why one more layer of bureaucracy? This is what we see. Bureaucracy, bureaucracy, bureaucracy. Time to put a stop to that. This is New Pakatan Harapan. Our Harapan also is very high. Coming to the MCOs, just like Dr. Arasu said, we've had dialogues many times. The decision was to work with them. For a long time, we were condemning them while at the same time doing business. This time, we agreed to talk with them, engage them. And they have been quite successful. To date, most of the MCOs are willing to recognize the 30 ringgit for the consultation, except for two, and I shall name them. One is AIA Sdn Bhd, the MCO portion of AIA, and the other one is MyCAS. They hold us to the letter of the law. They say, your law says this, our lawyers say this. This is the law, and we cannot budge from it. And that is why it is so important that Schedule 7 is gazetted, because once that is done, everything should fall in place. I would like to touch on enhancing general practice, and I'd like to read something that I just picked up yesterday. This is from a senior practitioner. It said, the current fee schedule under the PHFSA is the single most oppressed piece of regulation which contradicts common sense, the doctor's constitutional rights, and even the spirit of the PHFSA. He further went on to say, fees charged under this schedule is not compatible with survival, and it has caused extensive erosion into professionalism, ethics, and the practice of medicine. Therefore, it must be removed or completely revised to reflect on fundamental fairness and justice. Now, how much this is true? I believe this is very, very true. You can ponder on this. On enhancing care, we are the assets of the country, the doctors and general practice. You must take care of these assets. This is country's assets. Don't treat us like what Peter Chan said, like we are orphans. We refuse to be orphans in the healthcare contribution of the country. Four minutes up, okay. Actually, I prepared a PowerPoint presentation to show, but they say just talk. So I said talk, but talk only, no action. That's what you've been seeing so far. So I hope I just wind up to say, we talk and please give us the action. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shanmuganathan. And now for the final representation from the associations, we'd like to call Dr. Boy Saidi from Perdim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih saya ucapkan kepada Tuan Pengerusi Majlis. Terima kasih saya ucapkan kepada Menteri Kesihatan, Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan dan juga Barisan Kepimpinan. Saya mewakili Perdim, Dr. Boy Saidi, Setiausaha Perdim, menyokong penuh terhadap apa yang diutarakan oleh Dr. Arasu, yang mana kami menyokong sepenuh hati isu-isu yang dibawa daripada nombor 1 hingga ke nombor 5. Tetapi we have our own point of view regarding universal health coverage. I heard from your mouth just now, Menteri Kesihatan, you said about universal health coverage. Perdim has our own stand on universal health coverage. Our stands are, we oppose, it is crystal clear that we oppose to DS. Establishing universal health care in Malaysia is currently irrelevant due to the current political and economic situation. That is Perdim stand. We oppose to DS and we found that establishing universal health care in Malaysia is irrelevant. The reason are, we have 3 reasons. First reasons, our country is run by debts. You have to remember, establishing the universal health care needs a huge funding. Do you want to know? Do you want to know that our healthcare expenditure in Malaysia are among the lowest in the regions? It is shameful. It is shameful that we, Malaysia, have the lowest GDP healthcare expenditure in the region. If you want to know, Thailand are having expenditure GDP, gross productive GDP, gross domestic product. Gross domestic product is an indicator for achievement in certain sector in a country. So if you want to know the achievement of the achievement of certain sector in the country, you look at the GDP. So the GDP in Malaysia is only 7.2. The expenditure of the healthcare expenditure in Malaysia is only 7.2, 2017. If you compare to Thailand are having GDP 14%. If you compare to Singapore are having 15.5%. If you compare to Vietnam, you know how the GDP in Vietnam are having 19%, 19.5% GDP 2017, whereas we are only reaching 7.2. You know what happened? You know what happened if we establish universal health care with the expenditure of 7.2? We will be as horrible as Indonesia. Do you know what happened in Indonesia? Indonesia GDP currently is 9.8. You know what happened? In Indonesia, if we establish, if we follow the DGP in Malaysia, if only we establish National Health Insurance Scheme with 7.2, we will be the same as Indonesia. What happened in Indonesia? The doctors go to the street asking for salary. So Perdim, we currently do not agree on universal health care because our GDP is 7.2, whereas Indonesia is 9.8. But what happened in Indonesia? They go to the street and asking for salary. That is our first reason. Our second reason are, currently, if we agree on universal health care system, of course we have to talk about DS. Of course, the pharmacy will push on DS, what happened if DS happen in Malaysia? We will not be able to sustain our clinic just prescribing Group B medication. Yang amat berhormat Datuk Seri, Group B medications is only antibiotic, antihypertensions, and also antifungal. We rarely use antivirus, anti-malaria. There's no anti-malaria here in Malaysia. So if you agree on universal healthcare, we have to talk about DS. If we agree on DS, we will not be able to sustain with only selling prescription to the patient. We look at Korea. You know what happened in Korea? In Korea, the GP are doing colonoscopy. Why? Because they are pushing the patient to the GP. You know what happened in the UK? In the UK, one doctor only can treat 20 patients. You know what happened in the UK? If you go to the A&E, you need to get a referral from the GP. Why are they doing all this? You know, in New Zealand, they are giving away patient with a simple fracture for casting in the GP. So what happened there? It's not about our concession fee. It's about will the patient come to us if DS is happening. Number 3, my last, give me 30 minutes. My last, our reason why we a bit disagree with National Health Insurance Scheme is there is no political will. You see at the budget, the current budget 2019 was allocated the highest budget to the Ministry of Education, 60 billion, whereas the Ministry of Health only get 28 billion. So there is no political will. So our stand is very simple. We oppose to DS, and also we found that it is irrelevant to establish National Health Insurance Scheme in Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you to all the association representatives for the very enthusiastic input. We now welcome our Honourable Minister and our respected panelists to give their comments or feedbacks before we open the floor to the rest of the participants.
Wow, that was really very candid and honest. And I would want to give a big round of applause for all the speakers of the 4 organizations. That's what I would really want to engage, and we had already anticipated this level of, but it's not as fierce as I thought it would be. This is considered mild. But be that as it may, I've noted those issues that have been raised, and I'm sure from my deputy to all DS, KSU, and Deputy DG, and as well Dr. Ramli and Dr. Razid, from Amalan. I think they will be more than willing to engage on this and give their perspective to this. But let me just one comment perhaps from Dr. Shanmuganathan. It is as you said, from the word go, I was informed of my kind of authority that I have to, just by the stroke of my pen, change the 7-fee schedule. That is provided for. But of course, you know that too well. That's not the way we work. And especially when the entire government is premised on, wanting to, what we now call the shared prosperity, particularly serving the underserved and the low-income group, and the marginalized group. Therefore, any of our policy would have to be subjected to a rigorous, debate in the cabinet. I know that I have this, prerogative right, enshrined in this act. But then I must say to you, and you know very well where I'm coming from, that in the light of handling, kalau saya boleh sebutkan dari segi menjaga dan mengawal cause of, I would really believe that the way forward for me is to get the endorsement of the cabinet. I must say to you that not that the cabinet is saying no. Sekali lagi saya ulangkan dalam penyampaian saya on the 24th of April, what they are saying is that it's a question of the timing, and I am very sure that we will get it done. But the issue is when. And also they have already, collectively cabinet wants me to present this to Majlis Tindakan Sara Hidup Nasional, and I'm in the process of doing it. And I was told that the Sri KSU would want another round of engagement with all the four organizations. And hopefully by then, when our economy is just picking up, everything has got its time. Yeah, it's got its timing. Yeah. So I would really agree with you that I must again go back and present. And I believe that I will win this time. And with your prayers and your well wishes, we will get it done. Yeah. But of course, it is through collective decision of the cabinet, not on my own. Okay. Jadi saya ingat itu saja yang nak saya sebutkan. Yang lain tu I have my comments on UHC by Pradipnya rap talking about it, but I think that require a bit more discourse. Sebab saya rasa konsep universal health coverage itu pun saya rasa tidak berapa difahami, ataupun we are not on the same page on what constitute UHC, which has become the vision and the mission of the World Health Assembly that we put together. We are part of the country that the country that ratified this resolution. Tapi tak apa, saya ingat it will take a longer engagement for me untuk saya terangkan apa sebenar-benarnya UHC. We have another forum to discuss that. And of course, saya terpaksa menyebutkan that you're quoting all those GDP is actually numbers, particularly on Malaysian spending tu tidak sebenarnya betul. Okay. May I just say to you that as an upper middle income economy, yes, we should be spending. We should be spending as an upper middle income economy around about 6 to 6.5% of GDP. As an upper middle income economy, benchmark against others, we should be spending around 6 to 6.5, ideally 7. But right now, what we are spending is actually from the public sector, we are only spending 2.3% of GDP. And the private sector is contributing 2.2%. As a whole, it is only 4.5% of GDP. We have been underspending in the healthcare sector, and this is the reason why we've got a lot of catch up to do. And everywhere I go, in all hospitals, in all states, asking for more equipment, more money to buy ventilators, to buy monitors, to buy even bed, to buy whatever. So yes, we have been underspending, and even that on the question of efficiency of spending is as well another thing. But if that is the reason for not having UHC, it is completely flawed and wrongly premised. Ya, bukan itu asosiasinya, bukan itu rasionalnya. UHC is leaving no one behind. And as a government, that should be what you should vouch to do. Rakyat yang di pinggiran, in the remote areas of Sabah dan Sarawak, of Keningau, of all this, there shouldn't be, particularly now I'm talking about, I have mentioned earlier about the Gua Musang, orang asli punya case incidents. Those are the things that when we meant leaving no one behind, is to ensure that we deliver healthcare without causing any financial hardship on them. That is what is meant by universal healthcare, is to deliver healthcare, particularly on primary healthcare, without them incurring hardship out of pocket expenditure. And we are about 39% out of pocket expenditure of the entire healthcare expenditures of our rakyat. That's how we would go forward. Yes, we will embrace UHC because it's such a novel, bold vision and statement of WHO, and you must stand by this, and you must deliver it with all the public and private sectors working together to enhance delivery of the healthcare, and finally achieving universal healthcare coverage for all, leaving no one behind. I thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Datuk Sri, for the answer. Is there any other respected members of the panelists who would like to add any comments to any of the issues raised?
Say it again, you want me to?
Datuk Sri, I mean, we can, before we proceed, I just wanted to know if there's any other members
Of
of the
course,
respected
yeah.
panel who want
But,
to give anything.
I have really not answered the other question. I would want others to answer. And if I need to add on later, I could do it. So can we leave to the... Can we start off with... Dr. Ramli? Boleh? Terima kasih.
Thank you, Dr. Sri. There's two issues that's brought up. One is the medicine price control and the dispensing separation, which received the loudest applause from the member of the floor. Let me tackle the price medicine control first. The aim of medicine price control is to ensure that access to medicine at a fair price. So we call it fair price. Here, what we mean by fair price is that a price that is affordable for the health system and the patient, and at the same time provides sufficient incentive in innovation and production of medicine. So that's what we meant by fair price. Now, what we have done so far is that, like what YB have mentioned last month, we will regulate price at two levels, at the wholesale level and at the dispensing outlet level. We call it dispensing outlet, meaning GPs, private hospital, and pharmacy community. And what we are proposing is a two-level of ceiling price. There is a ceiling price at the wholesale and a ceiling price at the dispensing outlet. Now, the ceiling price at the wholesale will be determined through what we call the ERP, external price referencing. That means we will refer to a few countries, a basket of countries, and from there we will determine the fair price that Malaysia should get. We are talking about for the whole healthcare system. And then we will have a markup system at the dispensing outlet. That means from the wholesaler, there will be a markup where we allow a certain percentage for the dispensing outlet. Now, I want to be clear at this point of time, we are just looking at single source product, meaning that this is the only item in the country. They have this monopoly, and this is what we are really regulating. We are not looking at generics as yet. That will be a second phase. Now, we have shared this model with the association before even tabling it to the parliament. We have series of engagement, and we have our own internal stakeholder engagement. We have engagement with the agencies within the government itself, the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, Malaysian Competition Commission, My IPO, Ministry of International Trade. Okay? We have engagement with the Consumer Association, engagement with the insurance provider, engagement with the pharmaceutical industry, engagement with the pharmacy profession, and also engagement with the medical profession, private hospital, GP, and dental. So those that came to the engagement session were from the MMC, MMA, PERDIM, APHM, MPCAM, MPDPA, Malaysian Private Dental Practitioners Association. We had a very fruitful discussion, and I take note of what Dr. Arasu has mentioned, that we need to understand the various ecosystem. We need to also have more series of engagement, okay? And we need to understand how private practitioners operate. Yeah? We can give you the assurance that there will be continuous engagement on this. We have not finalized the minor detail of what is the markup price and things like that. But then this is a work in progress, and we will continue to update the members from the association. So I hope that is very clear about medicine price control. We are looking now at this point of time for single source item that is including patented product. And we believe that these products are not used that much in the GP practice compared to, for example, private hospital and at the government hospital. Now, overall, government, what we are trying to do is that we are trying to reduce the price of drug as much as possible. In fact, we have a few initiatives in place. Currently, we have the pool procurement, where we are pulling together Ministry of Education, Ministry of Defense, and Ministry of Health, so that we can have a bigger negotiation power in trying to get drugs at a cheaper price. So that's what we are doing. At the ASEAN level, we are also taking the initiative to look at pool procurement for ASEAN, basically for vaccine, which is very important for our region, okay, anti-venom, and these are the products that we are looking at. Yeah. For the pool procurement for the government agencies, we are looking at close to 80 products, which we felt that through negotiation we can even bring the price lower. So that is on medicine pricing. Now the second issue, dispensing separation. As mentioned by Dr. Arasu, since 2015, the last meeting that we held in Presint, the policy within KKM remained. The policy is that medical practitioners are allowed, according to the law, to continue to dispense medicine. So there's no changes in that policy. One compromise that was agreed upon with DG, our DG and the association, was that mandatory for prescription, mandatory upon request, which means that if a patient requests a prescription from a GP, it's mandatory for the doctor to issue the prescription to the patient. So we don't talk about dispensing separation. There's nothing in the law that talk about dispensing separation. So I hope it clears up the situation, yeah? And I do agree with Dr. Arasu that dispensing separation is only feasible when we have a national financing scheme. So I hope that clear up the two issues about the medicine price control and the dispensing separation issue. Thank you.
Maybe I'd just like to add a bit on the 7-fee schedule, on the revision. Thank you. We really feel for all the GPs on this. That's why things have been expedited on this matter. We even have the town hall session with the Malaysian Federation of Employees, even with all the GPs. And from there, the cabinet paper was prepared and pushed for it to be presented in cabinet. And it was the cabinet decision that all policies matters that regarding the economy, finances, employment, and all these cost of living must be tabled into the cabinet for decision. That's why the ministers couldn't make that call that short, because we advise ministers that it should go to the cabinet. And as mentioned by ministers, it was not rejected. It must be referred to the special committee on cost of living. We already started the ball rolling. Internally, we have our discussion and all that. By July, we'll present to the domestic trade, which is the secretariat to the cost of living, and soon, by somewhere in August or September, to be the special committee chaired by the Deputy Prime Minister. We will engage with all our stakeholders, the GPs, get together with them, and you'll be invited to be into the committee to present and hear for yourself, argue out your reasons why for this fee review and all this. And we'll be with you all the way. Just to keep you updated on this. Thank you.
Before I pass the mic to Dr. Razid, just an add-on information. If you've been following the World Health Assembly, a resolution that was passed on what is known as the greater public disclosure of drug prices and transparency in drug pricing. That'll be the way forward. We, Malaysia, part of the 9 other countries that ratified this, we hope that we will eventually address the global drug prices by way of disclosure and transparency, even including the R&Ds of drug discoveries and the clinical trials and drug development. So with that, we will, in fact, hopefully see the lowering, or at least to address the escalating drug prices globally. So this was one of the resolutions where I was part of the whole resolution to ensure that drug prices or escalating drug prices be arrested, and this is the way for us to go. It is a global effort. It's a global effort. It's no longer like Malaysia in isolation or even MOH in isolation. We'll go for pool procurement, but the way forward is to have it addressed globally. I thank you. So can we pass on the mic to Dr. Razat dulu, Dr. Razat?
Thank you, YB Datuk Seri. Two more issues to be answered. Dr. Ahmad Razid will briefly mention about MCO. I will respond on the question raised by Dr. Arasu and Dr. Shan on the enhanced GP. I think we had discussion last month. I think very good discussion with MMA and all the team. Of course, we'll continue with discussions, and we will go to form the task force as you requested. And then with regard to the public-private collaboration, and with this, in this context, registration of GP, I think after this meeting, we'll consolidate the resolution and to make sure that Dr. Arasu and the team, you all will be invited, and you all will be in member of the task force.
Thank you, YB Datuk Seri. On the issue of MCO, we know that it is not a new one. It has been there since mid-90s actually, even before the Private Healthcare Facilities and Services Act 1998 was passed at that time. Yeah? We know that the regulation was passed 2006, and since then the Act has been enforced. At that time when it was drafted in 1998, if I may remember, MCO was still new, and that's why it was introduced as a small part, provisions in the Act itself. Yeah? Just to clarify, Part 15 actually, from Sections 82 until Section 86, is about the interpretation of what is MCO, and it is based on the contract that's at Section 83, and subsequently furnishing information by the healthcare facilities and services, the doctors themselves, and also subsequently on the furnishing information by the MCOs on the organization and maintaining registry. Yeah? In terms of regulatory mechanism, actually, there's some form of regulatory mechanism, indirect and direct. Indirect because the doctors sign up with the MCOs. So the MCOs will have to comply with regards to in terms of what has been in the contract, so that it do not contravene or do not contravene whatever the Medical Act or the Code of Professional Conduct, the ethics of the doctors, and also in terms of the Act itself, the Act 586 itself. Yeah? That's in terms of the contract. And in terms of the furnishing of information, if the MCO do not furnish information with regards to its organization, it's also an offense. And in terms of the registration itself, it is by having a registry maintained by the DG. There is no mechanism of asking the MCOs to apply, like what we are doing for the clinics or for the hospital or other healthcare facilities. There is no format of registration in that sense. We know that we all want the MCOs to be regulated. Yeah? We also have discussed with Bank Negara for that matter under the Pengawal Insurance, but they said that it's not under them. We also have discussed with KPD and HEP for that matter. They are only looking into the consumer's affairs, yeah? In terms of trade and so on. So it is somehow related. It is healthcare related facility. It is not private healthcare facility or services as interpreted in the Act itself. That's why there is no direct regulatory mechanism as for the others, yeah, for that matter. We are also exploring in terms of the Section 107 under the Act, where there's power of minister to come up with regulations. We have already discussed with the previous PU, our legal advisors in the past. Similarly, the MCO bill that was mentioned in 1998, there was a draft. It was discussed several times. The legal advisor looked at it as most of the provisions, it is regarding business transaction. It's about trade between one party and another, actually. Not so much on the private healthcare facilities and services, for that matter. So that's why it doesn't have to be a term as a healthcare facility, according to legal advisor. However, having said that, we are willing to look into it again under the Section 107 if the legal advisor, the current one, says that it can be done in the sense that provisions can be put in and amend Section 107 under the Act. So the amendment of the Act has to be carried out for that matter. Yeah? So that some form of regulation can be drafted to regulate MCOs. Say, for example, having some kind of format to get the MCOs to register. Yeah. Those kind of things.
Thank you. I think some of the issues were quite clear. I do hope that all of you understand that with regards to harmonization of the 7 fee schedule, the Ministry of Health is fully supportive of the effort. I don't think the Cabinet has rejected, just waiting for the right moment because of the potential implication on cost of living, especially to the low-income group, and impact on the economy. So I probably we got to, while we are going through a tough period in the economy, once the economy improve, recover, I suppose it'd be more plausible for us to implement the harmonization of the 7 fee schedule. The MCO issue has been discussed, although we are going to look into, in the long term, whether there's enough power or whether we need to amend. But at the meantime, I think negotiations still going on. The Ministry of Health is willing to be the intermediary between the hospital and the MCO, so that amicable solution can be reached at the meantime, and without the need for legislative effort. That would be ideal, but certainly we will look into whether they will be necessary to have special legislation. I think Dr. Ramli has already iterated about dispensing the separation. I think it's a commitment from the ministry that they won't be dispensing separation unless there is a so-called National Health Financing Scheme in place. And when we are planning for National Health Financing Scheme, certainly is going to be a massive shift regards to how we deliver healthcare. Even though a lot of us feel that that is probably inevitable, it's probably waiting for the right time, right moment to introduce. But I do think that majority of us here feel that when we implement that National Health Financing Scheme, I think we would like to have the GP to play an important role as gatekeeper, as a main fortress with regards to the healthcare services. So I think that I can assure you that your interest is in line with the Ministry of Health interest and is in line with the interest of the nation. So I think there are lots more we can work together, and I'm sure we can have more of this dialogue, and you could, if any other question, we are more than willing to listen to you and engage with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, another round, Dr. Hassan. I think much has been said about the health financing system, which is, to many, is no longer sustainable along predominantly a taxation-based right now. So moving forward, I have already stressed among one of my vision is to have a health, among the other health reform that we want to see in our leadership, in our tenureship, is to have the health financing system, a reform health financing system, where we will finally eventually see the like of moving away from a predominantly tax-based system, which would allow for, other financing besides just tax-based. We should have the like of an insurance, where we have a payment where it's just beyond tax and from the funding of the government or the consolidated fund. So this is the way forward. It's going to be a journey. We are already starting to talk about this. And once we have that in place, then all the other things that we talk about would be able to be addressed. Because this is not a piecemeal kind of work. Once we have the health financing system addressed, then all those issues that we have now not able to be addressed would be able to be addressed, including the dispensing separation and whatnot. But for now, we will maintain status quo and we will ensure that we will deliver this until we get the reform done. Okay, can we have...
All right, thank you very much, Datuk Sri and respected panelists. And now I'm sure there are a lot of burning questions on the floor. All right, so first and foremost, before we move to the questions, I would like to introduce you to my colleagues who are spread out across the floor. Can you identify yourselves? Can you please put up your hands? The colleagues will be distributing cards, right? They'll be walking around the hall. So now for those of you who are interested to ask questions, please raise your hands. My colleagues at each row will be passing some cards to you. And in the interests of protecting the GPs, right? This town hall is mainly for general practitioners. I would kindly request your kind cooperation to allow general practitioners the priority to be speaking today. All right? So my colleagues, those of you who would like to speak, please put up your hand. And my colleagues will be going on distributing some cards. We'll start off with 16 cards first. Yeah? And once we have started, we will try to finish 3 questions before getting comments from the panel. And I would like to in the interest of time, I request that each person limits your views, your comments to a maximum of 2 minutes. All right. Hold on. Okay, so can I have the person holding card 1A? Can you please raise your hand?
We'll be calling based on numbers given out.
Yes, so the person with card 1A, please stand up. Please, we have a gentleman at the back. Kindly introduce yourself and you may begin.
Hi, good afternoon, Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Datuk Dr. Dzulkefly. My name is Chang Chi Seong. I'm a general practitioner. I'm from Klinik Medipulse. Actually, I have just 2 questions. Number one is actually when you said about consultation fee of the harmonization of consultation fee, because consultation fee is actually a salary for GPs. Okay, if economic slowdown is the reason given for deferring the harmonization of the fee, then I just want to ask, why has the fee not been revised for the past 27 years? I believe we were in a good economy for the past 77 years. And economy has recently just slowed down. I mean, I'm not an economist, but I read the news. So it's not the worst now. When will it get worse? When will it recover? 5 years, 10 years? So will there be another no salary increment for the GPs for another 5 to 10 years, making it a total of 37 years? So if economy is bad, will KKM hold its staff's increment of salary? Will KKM tell the staff, we won't have increment of salary? This question goes to all the corporates. Will there be no increment of salary? So I believe this is unfair treatment for the GPs. We are expected to not raise our salary when the economy is bad, and when the economy is good, everyone has their salary increment and the GP just stays stagnant for the past 27 years.
Thank you, Doctor, for your question. We'll hang on to that question, and we've handed out a total of 16 cards, and we'll be calling accordingly. We will definitely distribute the next round of cards in a staggered manner. Okay, so can we please move on to the doctor with question 1B. We'll collect 3 questions before our honorable panelists can address with their comments.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Dr. Rauf Al-Abbas. I'm from the Care Clinics. Today we have seen over commercialization and abuse of health screening. If I am correct, Pathology Act was passed in 1997. So why is it until now there is no regulation and enforcement? Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for the question. Can we please move on to question 1C?
Terima kasih, Datuk Seri. Saya Dr. Azmi. Saya sebagai GP selama 28 tahun before I join politics. I'll make it short. Jadual ke-7. 27 years lag. Anak saya pun dah jadi doktor dah. 27 years. And then we don't need part 17. Part 17, if I'm not mistaken, the power of the minister. Because it was set in 2013. It was given the upgrading. But kesalahan yang dilakukan adalah meletakkan pada jadual ke-13. That is wrong. Sebenarnya sepatutnya letak jadual ke-7. So siapa buat salah ni? Kenapa buat salah ni? Kenapa tak betulkan lepas tu? Kita tak perlu. Nobody care about us. Kita sebenarnya pahlawan yang tak didendangkan. Jadi ini, kalau tak selesai di sini, I will continue in parliament. Sorry, Datuk Seri. Datuk Seri and friends, I've been sending 10 questions every session. Next session is 1st July. One of the question yang selalu saya tanya tapi tak naik. Kali ini peluang sebab tak naik. Kalau tak naik dalam parlimen, tuan-tuan dah dengar hari ini. Soalan nombor 9. Minta Menteri Kesihatan menjawab. Bilakah kerajaan akan secara serius melihat serta menyelesaikan masalah sekian lama diharungi oleh doktor awam, khususnya berkaitan professional fee splitting oleh MCO TPA dan penyelarasan bayaran fee perubatan para doktor umum di klinik swasta dengan para doktor umum, doktor pakar di hospital swasta yang tiada perubahan sejak 1997.
Terima kasih.
Nombor 2 tentang MCO. Lama dah kita kena buli. Kita punya praktis sewa, alatan, ubat, gaji staf semua naik. The latest MCO and Medcap minta dekat saya RM5 satu kepala. RM5 satu kepala. I rejected that company. How can kita dapat RM15? No, this is bad. RM10, RM15 ni kedai gunting rambut je. Kita study sampai nak buta mata baca buku. This is what we get. No way. Please take care of the gatekeepers. Don't let lalang and rumput naik dekat gatekeepers ni. Kesian kat mereka.
Alright, terima kasih Doktor. Thank you very much. Alright, so now we have taken 3 questions.
What I want is that perlu ada akta ataupun pilihan akta pada PHSS akta ini supaya mengawal MCO TPA. Bukan sewenang-wenangnya. Terima kasih. I can go back now.
Terima kasih Doktor. Alright, so we have taken the first round of 3 questions. Datuk Seri and the respected members of panelists, maybe we can respond to some of the issues raised.
Ya, terima kasih. Terima kasih semua yang bertanya. Dr. Chan, yang berhormat Dr. Azmi dan juga Dr. Rauf earlier. Ya. Saya mungkin akan menjawab hanya satu kot dan the rest I'll pass it to my colleagues. Ya. Saya cemas dengan menggunakan reason for not menaikkan ataupun revise dan synchronize menyelaraskan 7 fee schedule atas isu kenaikan harga barang ataupun bad economic times. I knew that smart Alex among you will whack back at me and I receive it from Dr. Chan. Thank you, Dr. Chan. You have identified, you have really brought that point. When in the good times, when the economy was booming, why was 7 fee schedule not addressed? That would be the way you should have fought then. But now, I must say that I fought gallantly on this, and I quite agree with my cabinet members. I am part of the cabinet members. I've got to, finally agree with it's a collective decision that, as also stated by Deputy, as and when the economy is picking up. I'm not saying that we are not able to do this because kerana masalah ekonomi semata-mata, tetapi right now memang in the first 1 year, you know how we have in a way grounded our economy through dismantling, through addressing pelbagai masalah. This has been a 6 decade of government. We are now in less than 10, 15, 11 months kita nak turn around the economy. But I must say that we believe when the economy is picking up, there will be more than willingness of the cabinet to address this. Bukan sebabnya kerana perkara tentang the economy per se, but the totality of burden on the rakyat for now. As we move forward, Dr. Chan and all, I believe the next time round I present this, it will be a victory and a success for all of you. And I stand by that. Otherwise I got to resign, good. Okay. The rest of it, I believe that especially on the MCOs, I have my comment on that, but I would like Dr. Razid to address that, and also the Pathology Act, I would like Dr. Rohaizat to address that. So, I'll hear you loud and clear, Dr. Chan, you got the argument right, but let's give it another round after we present this to Majlis Tindakan Sara Hidup, and then there will be, the last shot, the last push at the 7th schedule. I believe we will win this time. Thank you.
Thank you, YB. May I answer Dr. Rao? Dr. Rao on Pathology Act. Dr. Rao, the Pathology Act is already now with AG. Then one AG approve it, I think we'll prepare nota cabinet. So Pathology Act is coming. Secondly, YB Dr. Azmi, MCO, as mentioned by YB Timbalan Menteri just now, while exploring section 107 of the Act 586, we're going to use current section, i.e. section 82 on the definition, section 83 on the contract, section 84, 85, 86, particularly on section 83 on the contract to develop the common contractual agreement. At least this is the short-term measure to help GP not overcome, minimize all the issues mentioned by you just now.
Thank you. With regards to the issues on MCOs, of course, as explained by Dr. Rohaizat just now, with regards to the regulatory mechanism, of course, we are said, as I said, mentioned earlier, we are exploring in terms of having that regulation to be made or to be prescribed by Minister under Section 107. We'll discuss again with our legal advisors actually, for that matter. We know that there is some kind of regulatory mechanism, though it is not that very strong, presently under Sections 82 until 86, for that matter. And then in terms of the contract again, contract, we know the concept of contract. There is an offer, there is an acceptance, and there is a capacity to sign actually, for that matter. If it is offered by the MCO for 5 ringgit or 10 ringgit or less or more, things like that, if the doctors sign up, then that's the agreement between both parties actually, that has to be honored. That has to be honored because you have the capacity at that time when you sign up actually. So it is a business and transaction for that matter. We are talking about what's to be carried out, what's the content. That's where we come to the discussion about a common contractual agreement. We come to that. It is on the way. We have already discussed first round between the MCOs, there were 37 of them, and also the association at that time, that was last month. And we are not able to complete the discussion, so the association, MMA, is heading it to discuss with the various MCOs and finalize it by end of this month. And hopefully we could look into it again and make sure that things will be in order with regards to the common contractual agreement for that matter. And on the fee splitting, yes, during the common contractual agreement discussion, issues on fee splitting were brought up. We have already got our legal advisors input for that matter. The interpretation of fee splitting under MMC's purview, that's the Code of Professional Conduct, is between practitioners and practitioners. Whereas the fee splitting in the regulation of Act 586 is between various parties. There are various entities between the practitioners, facilities, individuals, and other organizations, because it covers healthcare facilities and services. Is a wider scope for that matter. So the interpretation carries along with the fee splitting, where the elements of kickbacks or arrangements and also the entities involved, that's the practitioners, healthcare facilities, organizations or individuals, and inducement to refer or to receive patient. Our legal advisor said these three elements, main elements, that's the kickbacks or arrangement, the entities, the parties involved, and the inducement to refer or to receive patient must come together. Must come together. If one element is absent for that matter, we cannot terminate peace splitting. Yeah, these are the considered. However, during the contractual, the discussion on the CCA, the Common Contractual Agreement, we have agreed that we will get the Jabatan Program Negara's input. Besides our legal advisors, we will carry on with it. We will get the AG Chamber's opinion for that matter, if that's the discussion that we had about. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Razid. And now we'd like to move on to the next set of questions. Can we move on to person with the holding card 1D? Can you identify yourself and speak up to the mic? Thank you. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pearl. I'm a GP in KL. All right. Now, I think we are all on the same page. We are all here for the better of our patients. But to look after my patients properly, I must be secured in my position. Now, someone mentioned fair price. Fair price for medicine, yes. How about a fair price for our consultation? Around the world, they are paid, roughly about RM 150. It doesn't matter where you're in US or Australia or UK or Europe or Japan. We are paid 10 ringgit. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm a beggar at your gate. For 27 years, I've been told, be patient. We will revise. Be patient. We will revise. Now, we have gone to the Majlis Tindakan Sara Hidup. A blind person can see that 10 ringgit is not an adequate or justice for GPs. It is far from it. If I tell, a 10-year-old child, I give you 10 ringgit if you become a doctor, you think they'll be a doctor, secure? They say, I think I'll be a beggar, I'll be better. All right? So, what my question is, Majlis Tindakan Sara Hidup, another meeting. Can I have the final line? When will the KPI, all right, be told to us? In the meanwhile, I would like to also ask all the GPs here, until we get that question or the answer to that question, can we agree, all right, to have at least a registration of maybe 35 ringgit for each consultation for the MCOs only? I will not touch my poor patients. I will not take money out from their pockets. Why should I give? All right?
All right, thank you, Dr. Pearl. All right, thank you so much for your question.
Rich companies.
All right, so certain issues that have already been raised, and some of it are just comments. The panel will not be repeating the answers. We take note of your comments, and now we move on, yeah? So can we have the person, the doctor holding the card 1E, please, to identify yourself? Yes.
Dr. Wan Namazia Azahari from Pasir Putih, Kelantan. So I think I represent the people from the hinterland, the people who are oppressed, and the doctors who are oppressed, the people and the doctor who wants a better health care. Like you have mentioned, a universal health care. But now, I came all the way here with my heart full of hope, like a rose bud about to bloom. But when I hear your comments and your remarks, I feel down. I feel that, like what has been said earlier, there's too much been said. What I want now, what we all want now is enforcement and legislation of MCOs. We don't want any more intermediary role or talking or engagement. It is past that point, beyond that point. You see, when you pass, like when you work in the hospital, when you pass over one shift to another shift. So there should be a continuity. Why is there a break in this continuity? Where is the professionalism in your work? I ask you this. And I want you to answer. And I want you to be responsible towards us. And not to just say, oh, like I wasn't present, I did not know, I wasn't aware, because that is an irresponsible answer. Okay. So, like what Dr. Arasu said, I, from Kelantan, I want to reiterate the 4 points that we want. Number one is we want the harmonization of the field schedule.
Doctor, can you wrap up in about 15 seconds, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
And enhancing GP practice. We understand on the needs for universal health care, but we hope you will invite us and speak to us about this, because this is something new like when there was Obamacare or where there was...
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. In the interest of time, do you mind, you want to wrap up with just last sentence? Yeah.
My last point is, please do not disappoint us, because we will not vote you again. If you do not... Okay, I am from Kelantan, but I voted for you. I lost in Kelantan. I voted for you. But now I hope, with this hope, this coalition of hope, this harapan, this bursting hope in our hearts, you will solve our problems. No more talk.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. All right, we'll just take one more. Can I have the doctor with the card 1F? Identify yourself and speak to the mic. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Vincent from Ipoh. So actually, I do not agree with a few points, especially about regulations that, we say that we have a few rules set down, we have a few regulations that, and said that, oh, there should be no fee splitting, there should be, like, according to rules, it shouldn't be so. But we really do lack of enforcement on that part. And when we are talking about this, what the answer that we got is, we need to discuss about it and establish something about it. So it's like, then the answers that we got is, because it is a trading, it's a business contract between two entities. So I very much would like to disagree with that, because it's like a big guy bullying a small guy, and the small guy has to hand out the money to the big guy, and you say that, oh, because the small guy is very willingly handing the money to the big guy. That's not right in any ways. Okay, so if there is no regulation, Pakatan Harapan, our harapan, please make it happen. Please regulate it. Please enforce it. Do not just say and say and say with nothing done. So, a few examples, again, and other examples. MCO, TPA is one thing. How about pharmacy giving out medication without doctors giving the prescription slip? We have tried to complain. But first of all, the advice that I was given, my colleagues gave me this advice. Don't go and complain lah. You will be the first one who will be checked. You will be the first one who will be regulated. I saw there are so many times, the pegawai datang sini, tengok berapa besar pintu saya, berapa besar saya punya peti sejuk okey tak, ada letak barang lain tak, ada tampau tak perkataan.
Can you wrap up if you have any new points, yes. Please wrap up.
I said, so here is this. We have complaints. We have a lot of complaints indeed. But then, if the rules have been set, we ask for enforcement, and real enforcement, and please listen to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We would like to humbly request doctors try to focus on questions that has not been raised, so we could finally utilize the one golden opportunity that we've got after a long time. Okay?
So now there's a request from the panel to proceed to the next person holding the card 1G. Yes,
Hello,
please.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Saya Dr. Sharif daripada Batu Pahat. Okey, saya tak nak cakap banyak, sikit je. Pertama sekali adalah pasal TPA tadi, regulatory. So you ada ceiling, right? Ceiling kan, paling atas sekali. So paling bawah lagi, you ada regulation tak? Sebab kita bukannya kedai runcit, jual ubat. Itu satu So kalau ada regulation di antara paling minimal charges and paling atas ceilings. Sebab macam pharmacy kebanyakannya jual ubat macam kedai runcit. I'm sorry to say this. That's why people goes to pharmacy because it's cheaper. But there is no proper consultations. And pharmacy dah buat ambil darah because they are doing doctor's jobs. I'm sorry to say this. Okay, itu satu. Keduanya kalau kami because of fees tak naik, lepas tu kita ikut TPA, apa benefit yang kerajaan boleh bagi pada GPs? Exclusion from income tax? So I tanya je lah. I mean, do you give us some amount of money to pay for the renting, for the ni? Apa yang kerajaan boleh bagi? That is my questions. To support us GP to be able to survive. That's all.
Thank you. Can we please proceed with question 1H, the person holding the card 1H? Yes, we have.
Good evening, Minister of Health, and good evening, the Deputy Minister of Health, and all of the present here. I know you all from 1998 when we were together in the reformacy movement. The Minister knows me well, the Deputy Minister. I'm Dr. Mahendran Makandu. I'm a primary care doctor practicing in Shalam. For the last 40 years, I have been in this pursuit of improving the service for the general practitioners for the last 35 years, and we have received nothing. Let me be a warning, as one of the members have said. The Pakatan Harapan won mainly because 95% of the doctors had asked their patients to vote for Pakatan Harapan. So the onus is on you to deliver the good spec to us. Please don't give flimsy answers. I have 12 points here, and I want the moderator to give me 4 minutes. Don't press the bell, because I'm serious about what I'm talking. And I have gone for town hall meetings where people have listened because I'm focusing on issues. The first is, as they have already talked on the issue, there is what is known as immediate amelioration of these issues, which you can do for the GPs, medium term and long term. Immediate, what you can do first is outsource your hypertension, your diabetes and asthma management in the outpatient services to the doctors. It only costs the GPs 25 ringgit, and has been a calculated study. It costs the government per patient 80 ringgit in the government hospital. Here you can save the money when you say you are in dire need of saving wealth for the Ministry of Health. Number two, private hospitals. Private hospitals in this country have penetrated into the general practitioner's purview. Patients go to the private hospital without any referral. You have to regulate the private hospitals. And I expect you to do. I'm going very fast, and I've got a copy of this, and I'll give it to the panel. You please answer this, because I've given my name, my telephone number, as well as my email address. Managed care organization. Don't give me the excuse that fee splitting. Don't give me the excuse that fee splitting.
Time is up. Datuk Sri, can we allow him to continue for another 2 minutes?
Yes.
All right,
He
please go
knows
ahead.
me. Fee splitting. Don't give me Razi. I know you very well for the last 20 years that it is a question where you have a question about the patient, about the contract. These contracts are illegal. You ask different lawyers will interpret. You ask my lawyer, he'll interpret, and we'll win the case for you. Go through it, and we must check these managed care organizations, because they have restricted our practice. They have collected $1 billion and they have split the fee. They have gone to organizations, etc., and they have destroyed the general practitioner. Managed care organizations have to open their system to all doctors to function. Okay, the other issue is the Pathology and Laboratory Act is already answered. Panel clinic and franchising. Among our doctors, we have recalcitrance. There are doctors who are franchising. The Ministry of Health has a close eye for the last 30 years. It is time you act on it with regard to this particular issue. The other issue which I want to go quickly on this particular issue is with regard to the GP schedule. Please implement it. Don't give excuses. I can give excuses in politics, I know, but Dr. Dzulkefly, please don't give me a long run on this issue. Please implement whatever you want to do. And the last, with regard to Fomema has been paying us for the last 25 years 60 ringgit. The doctors have been asking for an increase to 80 ringgit. Till date, nothing has been done. Please look into this particular matter and give us an answer in the next town hall meeting, hopefully within 6 months. The other issue is with the One Malaysia Clinic. They've opened One Malaysia Clinic throughout this country in the previous administration, the kleptocrat government which we had. And they have destroyed general practitioners. I myself had my practice closed, and I'm actually taking legal recourse to the claim for the loss of my practice. I want the government to one is to remove these One Malaysia clinics or ask the doctors in that particular area to form a consortium and to take it over. The other area is with regard to the Malaysian Medical Council. Can you just give me another short while before irritating me? This particular issue, the Malaysian Medical Council has no contact number. Nobody answers the phone. Annual practicing certificates are not issued. How can you run a Malaysian Medical Council? The election system is skewed. The person who's a former secretary, I just met the new secretary who has come. The former secretary has disappeared. You can't even contact him. I want the minister to take action. The DG surprisingly is not present today, and I'm ashamed.
All right, thank you very much,
The
Doctor.
last one, the last question. The Minister of Health has got an advisory council. I met the minister in Parliament about 2 months ago, and I told him, in the panel there are 7 members. There is not one representative from the GPs. A lot of them are in MCOs or in GLC companies with vested interests. To protect your interests, please get a GP to represent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Magando. Right, Dr. Sri, maybe we can answer a few issues that have not been raised before.
Right, I would want my colleagues to take on those issues first, and I will do the wrap up at the end as the concluding remarks. Yeah, who will want to go first? There are issues that are repetitive, but then, thank you, Dr. Mandarin. Sorry, I'll get it from you. I will not run away. Sila duduk dan jangan lari. Okay, can we have, this is the last round, by the way, only about 10-15 minutes.
I think with regard to MCOs, as I mentioned earlier, the Section 107 still in the process of analyzing, but we are going to, during the short-term measure, we are going to capitalize Section 83, 84, 85, 86. And one of the initiative that is going to be completed is the CCA. And I hope all the issues you raise will be gradually be resolved through CCA. And after all, the agreement between GP and MCO, if you don't agree, you please don't sign the agreement. Once the agreement is signed, it becomes legal binding between both. That is why we need to come up with common contractual agreement. And then we, ministry, will look at the other aspect, whether the agreement is not contradict with Medical Act, Act by ASIC, clinical practice guideline, and so on. So I think that is to, we hope by June or July, the first draft will be ready, and then maybe we can implement that soon.
Okay, terima kasih, Dr. Razat. Yeah, can we move on, Dr. Razat? Anything else to say? Or new to say?
Yeah.
Kalau ada if you want to re-emphasize a certain thing at the end, this final round already.
Dr. Sri, we have another 10 people with cards waiting. So maybe we can ask the remaining people with unique questions that has not been asked before to ask the question.
Perhaps before we wind up, can we get them to ask first?
Sure. Can we have the person with the card 2A, please, to identify yourself and speak up?
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, so my name is Dr. Huang. I'm from Klinik Medicinas Gambut. So most of the issues has been raised just now. So I just want to mention a few more other questions that has not been raised. So I just want to ask, right now, the TPA decides which clinic has to be their panel and which clinic is not. So are we going to have some mechanism to tell that all the doctors, the patient should decide which doctor they should meet? Because right now, the TPA can reject us, and the patient who wants to come to us cannot come to us because the TPA stopping them and choosing which clinic they should go to. So this is a big problem that is faced by most of the new doctors, especially because when we apply to the TPA, we couldn't get approved to be their panel. Yeah. So another thing that we are facing is that the Fomema, just now the previous doctor mentioned, Fomema is paying us 60 ringgit for the screening, but for the X-ray part is even a worse scenario because the X-ray, Fomema is paying us 25 ringgit per X-ray. So this is a big problem because when we invested in the X-ray, digital X-ray Swasta system, they pay us 25 ringgit and make us compulsory to pay 2 ringgit 50 cents for the transmission cost to the Swasta system. And on top of that, we have to pay additional money for the reporting, X-ray reporting, which is around 8 to 10 ringgit. So how much is the GP making from the X-ray service? We still need to hire radiographer, and all this cost is all not justified by the fee that they are paying us. Another thing is that can we have the ministry regulating the drug companies for increasing their price? Because ever since GST, we are seeing the price raised every year, sometimes twice or 3 times a year, and the ministry is regulating the GPs, asking us not to raise our fees, this and that, but they are not regulating the drug companies, raising the fees every single year.
Thank you.
So can you have something done on that? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Should we proceed with question 2A while waiting? Sorry, 2B? Do we have someone with question 2B?
Yes, I'm Dr. Ng from Klinik Welcare Dessert. I want to stress again, there is a monopolize of the medicine supply in the market. Mainly is by DKSH and Dzulkefly. There's a yearly to 6 monthly increase of the price. Instead of control of the price on the downstream, can you control at the price at the mainstream? At the upstream, which is the supplier and the manufacturer. We are the end user. We won't increase so much price because we are facing to the customer face to face. They will be killing us. And we are fighting amongst ourselves to get a lower price. Instead of control our price, why not you control of the supplier price at the manufacturer level? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we have the individual holding card 2C? Yes. There'll be a mic.
Assalamualaikum and salam perubahan. Nama saya Kapten Dr. Zulfikar from Sabah dan saya sudah jadi doktor selama 2 tahun. GP lah. So untuk Sabah ni kami setuju dengan segala rakan-rakan kami cakap. Cuma we would like to enlighten something yang mungkin kita miss tentang collaboration di kalangan kerajaan dan juga GPs. First is Dr. Dr. Mahindran. Dr. Mahindran, dia sama macam nama itu Bahubali kan. So and very strong person. Thank you so much with your comment. Tutup klinik satu Malaysia. That's very true. 700 klinik ditutup throughout Malaysia. Why? Did you ask us? Because of the klinik satu Malaysia, I can say you. Because you are taking from us the patients. Why not you tutup? Dan tukar kepada klinik panel kerajaan Malaysia. Give us the quota. Kami pandai cuci luka bah. Kami pandai tengok itu URTI, AGE, and plus, we are not like MA di klinik satu Malaysia. We can treat the non-communicable disease, NCD. Seperti Dr. Mahindran cakap, 80 ringgit you spend for NCD, we can make it better for you, the cost. Please allow us to help you. Allow us. Dengan cara macam ni, Datuk Seri, kalau Datuk Seri bagi kami kota, we can get more income. Saya sebagai bekas tentara air, saya sangat rindu untuk berada di tengah-tengah hutan, berada di pedalaman, to cater the universal healthcare.
Alright, terima kasih, Doktor.
So saya mau bagi saya ni, saya datang daripada Sabah minta tolong. Please, I pay for the flight. Pagi tadi saya tidak tidur lagi to meet you, YB Datuk Seri. So please give me some time, please. Okay, so untuk ini please buat satu task force to bincang, is it possible to do this clinic panel kerajaan Malaysia? In fact, the panel 6,000 or 7,000 punya GP boleh jadi tempat letak untuk information board for KKM. You help us,
Alright.
we help you. And then kemudian yang kedua,
Terima kasih, Doktor. Can you wrap up in 15 saat? Ya.
Kejap.
Thank you.
Datuk Seri bilang okey. Okey, yang kedua bersedia kedatangan dengan e-health yang saya rasa ridiculous. Di Indonesia sudah ada Grab Health Doctor. Biar betul. It's a shame to our the health system di other country. So untuk yang ini saya minta tolong kepada Kementerian Kesihatan, jangan sekali-kali benarkan untuk masuk ke Malaysia. Terutamanya bila di online pun boleh jual ubatan. Please tolong tengok benda ni. Doromin pun boleh boleh beli Doromin ni ubat yang kasih kurus badan. Saya beli, saya tambah besar. Minta maaf, grow ya. Dan ketiga pula, yang ketiga adalah, is it possible benarkan doktor untuk buka kedai farmasi menggunakan lesen doktor? We are qualified doctor, we learn the same things dengan ahli farmasi. Cuma kami lebih sikit. We learn about human body, we learn about pharmacotherapy, we learn about anatomy, we learn about social well-being of the patient yang mungkin tidak diajar di farmasi.
Thank
So
you.
minta tolong
Terima kasih,
untuk
Doktor.
kami
Ya.
benarkan kami dapat lesen itu. Kalau mau buat DS pun, I think we are ready.
Terima kasih, Doktor. Alright.
Can we call upon the doctor with question number 2D?
Good evening, YB Datuk Sri. I'm Dr. Subramaniam from Ipoh. Okay, YB, I don't understand. We are only asking for harmonization of the fee schedule. The doctor, equal doctor, a GP in the private hospital can charge 40 to 120. Whereas I, in the GP practice outside, when I charge anything more than 25, I cause inflation. I don't understand this logic. Okay? The other thing is, I've been in practice for 35 years. And you all must understand, you must take this message to whichever ministries that are opposing to this harmonization, that in Malaysia, we do not charge the common patient, this is my consultation, this is the cost of medicine. We compile everything together, and many a times we do not even charge consultation. And I can tell you, in my 35 years of practice, no patient has ever been sent back because she or he could not pay. We always treated them. Okay, now the biggest fear I have for the new doctors, after 34 years, I was asked to vacate from my premises because of family feud of the owners. After 34 years. Do you know, for 6 months, I paid $4,000 a month rental. For 6 months, I could not open the clinic because of Amalan. All the impositions they put. And after 6 months, I told them, enough is enough. You want to send me to jail, you go, and I'm going to go ahead and do my renovation. Then suddenly they come running. And within that period, I lost all my Famima patients, 1 or 2 of my company panels, because I had no registration certificate. So I think, Amalan, you have to seriously look into it. For a new doctor to start a clinic now, he has to in advance come up with about $200,000. Only then he can start a clinic. And this I'm talking from experience. For me, it's okay. I've been in practice for so long. When I started practice in '84, I used to see about 175 patients a day. Now I only see about 30 patients a day. At that time, I used to charge about $25. Now I charge $40. What's the big difference? So please convince others to say that harmonization of the fee schedule is not going to cause any increase in the fee cost of what do you call
Thank
medical
you.
treatment. in This
Thank you,
country.
Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Could we please move on to question 2E? We really encourage a variety of questions so that our panelists can really make use of this opportunity to give you all some very remarkable feedbacks.
Selamat petang YB dan para panelis. Terlebih dahulu YB, you have to excuse all our GPs here. Kesian mereka dari pukul 11 sampai sekarang belum makan, belum minum lagi. So ini terus terang je dan ramai dah sudah mengantuk pun. Okay. So my question YB, lain dari lain tapi penting juga. Saya nak just echo dengan apa saudara Markandan, Dr. Markandan. Banyak sudah dinyatakan oleh teman-teman seperjuangan saya. Okay. Hanya satu perkara saya hendak dapat mandate daripada YB bahawa mengikut hierarki MOH, ketua kami adalah Datuk DG. Betul tidak? Sebelum KSU lah. Okay. Saya sebagai seorang GP hanya hendak tahu pendirian Datuk Dr. DG dalam kesengsaraan sekian ramai GP. Sampai sekarang saya tak nampak dia punya beliau punya penyataan ke apa-apa berkenaan. Pasal apa? Beliaulah satu-satunya dari sejak 5 tahun dulu berada dalam semua meeting kita. Dia tahu persis daripada rejim yang dulu dengan rejim yang sekarang. Dan seharusnya Datuk DG yang berdiri di sini mewakili kita menanya semua hal ini. Tapi hari ini Datuk DG tak ada di sini. Saya pun tak tahu kenapa. So please, saya berharap saya anggap dia sebagai ketua, kepala saya. Okay? Ini semua ekor-ekornya. Jadi kepala dengan ekor kena sejajar, baru kita boleh capai. Kalau tidak, ini sekarang nampak kepala gigit ekor, mati kita. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Can I have the doctor with card 2F? 2F. Yeah. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. Selamat petang. Saya Dr. Mio Muhammad Yusof dari Seri Manjung, Perak, General Practitioner. Saya ada dua persoalan ataupun lebih kepada komen. Sedang kerajaan mengalu-alukan kerjasama swasta dan pihak kerajaan untuk memajukan kesihatan rakyat, tapi saya tidak nampak keikhlasannya. Saya tidak nampak kami semua boleh percaya terhadap kerajaan yang ini ataupun sebelum ini. Jadi persoalannya sekarang, untuk dapatkan kerjasama, kita perlu bina satu hubungan yang ikhlas dan boleh dipercayai dan boleh dipertanggungjawabkan. Accountability. Jadi hari ini saya tak dengar jawapan yang memberi kepada satu solusi. Semuanya bersifat jawapan yang selamat. Akan dibincangkan, akan dibawakan kepada kabinet, tapi tiada satu pun solusi yang konkret. Kami semua datang dari jauh. Kami tidak datang sini hanya untuk makan angin. Kami tinggalkan klinik, pesakit kami, pendapatan kami, keluarga kami, semata-mata untuk memperjuangkan nasib kami semua para GP. Jadi saya harap sekurang-kurangnya daripada 5 solusi, 5 perkara yang diutarakan oleh wakil-wakil persatuan, perkara yang paling penting, perkara pertama, kita dapat dengar sesuatu yang lebih konkret pada hari ini. Jaminan daripada pihak YB Menteri Kesihatan kita yang dihormati sekalian.
Terima kasih. Thank you.
Hello.
Alright,
Yeah, I think I guess I got the last cut. Yeah, good evening, Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan and your management team. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. Once I asked a child during my evening clinic whether he wants to become a doctor or not, he was shaking his head, no. Ask him why. He was pointing at his watch, and the father there, he said, Father, this is what time now? This doctor is still working, so I wouldn't want to be doctor. Okay, fine, here. I don't have any more things to add here, but I'm feeling as if I have a hope here after listening to you, Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan. Unlike all my friends, they are pessimistic, but I'm optimistic. I want reassurance from you again, just like all the rest of my friends here, that your Yang Berhormat will bring all the issue that is being discussed today to taken seriously, not just to discuss it when we walk up from this hall. That we want as reassurance, one thing. Secondly, the last issue I would like to raise is that national health financing, if you do not do it properly, can be fatal, like the UK experience. That's all I want to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Now can we please move to question 2H?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat petang. Selamat sejahtera. Yang berhormat Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad, Menteri Kesihatan. Saya Datuk Dr. Ahmad Syukri Ismail, Presiden Perdim. Bahawa ini Perdim mendapat satu surat daripada bahagian penguatkuasaan farmasi untuk mendapatkan maklum balas berkaitan dengan cadangan pindaan akta racun 1992. Jadi ini surat keluar 14 hari bulan Mei, kita dapat 23 bulan Mei dan kita mesti menghantar ni 29 hari bulan Mei. Masa terlalu singkat. Dan apabila kita lihat sini, impression yang kita dapat dari sini ialah farmasi nak menguat kuasa, nak menambahkan kuasa dia macam kuasa polis di sini. Jadi saya rasa kita adalah stakeholders. Contohnya dari segi keahlian, daripada 13 nak ditambah kepada 19. Majlis pergigian swasta dijemput, tapi kita bahagian pengamal perubatan am swasta tidak dijemput. Dan saya rasa semua persatuan sini tidak dijemput. Kemudian contoh tak ada email kan, tak ada email. Kemudian saya bagi satu contoh penalti dan kesalahan. Dulu kalau 10,000 akan naik 100,000. Kalau penjara 4 tahun naik 5 tahun. Dulu kalau 3,000 penalti, sekarang akan naik 50,000. Jadi ini melibatkan semua stakeholders. Dan di dalam dewan ini semuanya sebagai stakeholders. Kita tak mahu sebagai farmasi jadi small Napoleon. Sekarang pun kita dah menghadapi keadaan ini. Jadi saya minta perkara ini ditunda dan dijemput semua stakeholders yang ada dalam dewan ini dan semua persatuan untuk dibincang dan dibahas, kemudian diadakan town hall seperti ini. Jadi ini saya minta sangat, ya. Saya boleh bagi ini surat jemputan.
Okay, terima kasih, Doktor. So we have completed a round of 16 questions as promised earlier. So now we hand over the floor to the panel, YB Datuk Seri and respected panelists to give some feedback on the issues that has been raised.
Okey, kita sudah dengar pelbagai isu-isu yang lain. Jadi this is the final round, right? Boleh kalau ada yang daripada 8 yang mau membentangkan isu-isu yang selain daripada yang telah pun disebut-sebutkan. Yang telah pun disebutkan, can we? Honestly, I mean, you just got to tell yourself, if you heard about the other issues, you don't raise it. But this, others will judge you whether, really raising a new novel issues. Please, can you take
So
the
this
floor?
person is holding card 3E, yeah? So we'll come to all the holders of card 3E. Please. Number 3, please proceed.
Hi, thank you, YB. I think we fully understand government's dilemma today because of economic and their policy to withhold our harmonization of schedule. But I think we still remember the ajaran orang tua. How difficult our life is, how hardship we encounter. We shouldn't sacrifice healthcare and education. So the priority is wrong, I think. Government is putting a priority, the wrong priority. We have to think of, maybe government overlooked that there are many other young GP behind. In coming years, there are many other MO under the contract policy will come out as a GP. So I would like to throw a question to government. What kind of GP you want in future? You want a basic GP with a basic stethoscope, thermometer, BP set, tongue depressor, torchlight, that's all? Or you want an efficient GP with an ultrasound skill, advanced wound care, and can do something different like a primary care specialist. So, if you want the second type of GP, what do you think they need to make it happen, to sustain? We are not talking about the increasing of fees to enjoy life, to increase our life quality, but to improve, to equip us to become a better GP. So, just to share with you, we spent 50K for the diploma in family medicine and for ATP, just to be eligible for FRCGP. And we have to renew a RACGP membership just to sustain the requirement of academic or family medicine to sit for the exam. Each year, 3,500. And we have to pay for the education fees, we have to pay for the conference fees. Nowadays, the pharmaceutical company may not be supporting you. You have to pay it out yourself, pull it out yourself. So, we young GP, which kind of a GP you want us to be? I'm here to listen to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Doctor. That's really very noble.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so can we have individual card 3A if you have unique questions or comments only? 3A? Yeah.
The doctors with the 3 series cards,
Yeah,
if you
can we
have
have the
something unique
3A to
than...
stand up? Yes, right at the back there. Can we get a microphone to the doctor over there, please? Yeah, and...
The 3 series cards with a unique question. We are running out of time, so we kindly request your
Can we have the person with
for
card
1 minute.
3B, please? Card 3B.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Sorry for the delay. I'm Dr. Aniza. I'm a GP from KL actually. Now, there are a few issues that has not been addressed yet. Number one, regarding bogus doctors, practices, services, procedures. Now, in the Medical Health Act 1971, it's written there, no person shall use the title doctor in Malaysia unless he is a registered doctor under the Medical Act 1971. Now, the thing is, I have made lots of complaints about bogus doctors' procedures, treatments that are out there. Now, the answer always came back to me as di luar bidang kuasa, because they are not registered doctors. Now, if you look back at the earlier statement, now, our doctors are registered, we are not bogus doctors. So what is the use of the act saying going after these bogus doctors in the first place? I think this act needs to be scrutinized further. You need to look back at the Health Act because there are quite a lot of things that has not been addressed. At the end of the day, I feel personally that the Ministry of Health should look not only to us doctors, going after us for doors, for papan iklan that are different colors, but you should look into the health and safety of the people. That's what you should be doing, not going after us who are following the rules. So I don't agree, I cannot accept the reply saying that, oh, di luar bidang kuasa.
Thank you.
What are you guys for? So please kindly do something about this. I've been a doctor for 16 years. This has been going on and on. We see so many cases.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Failure. Do something. Thank you.
Can we have... Yes, can we please pass the mic to...
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Dr. Wahida from Melaka. I go straight to the issue. First, berkenaan isu peduli sihat dan PKB40. Kita GP diminta bersabar dengan fee yang low walaupun telah discuss banyak kali. Soalan saya, macam mana pula kerajaan nak tolong golongan PKB40 ni? Adakah kita pernah bincang isu ni di Melaka. Adakah kerajaan akan tolong maybe waive kan pendapatan yang kita dapat melalui PKB 40 ni daripada income tax maybe? Itu satu. Dua, UCAPs and enforcers. Kita ni adalah professionals, licensed doctors. Kenapa kita dilayan macam criminals? Sampai bila KKM nak treat kita macam criminals? We are professionals. Dan yang ketiga, berkenaan MMC. MMC tak kompeten untuk uruskan annual APC renewal. Why not you buat saja macam lesen memandu every 3 years or 5 years? That's all.
Terima kasih, Doktor.
Can we move on to the next question, please? 3D. We give priorities to unique questions that hasn't been asked, those holding the cards.
Great. Selamat petang semua. Yang berhormat, saya Dr. Sarawana daripada Lahadatu Sabah. Okay, the reason why I'm here today is to be part of the history. I believe that some changes going to happen today. Okay, one of the thing that yang tak disentuh saya rasa ialah mengenai TPA MCO ialah mungkin kebanyakan GP tak perasan benda ni. We as a new GP indirectly boleh dikatakan disuruh membayar certain amount of money kalau kita nak dapatkan diorang punya TPA tu. Ada beberapa TPA yang buat benda ni.
Doctor, is there a unique question that you would like to ask?
No, it's not about unique or not. Right. It's a fact actually. Why I'm telling this, it's not about unique or whatever it is. I'm really sorry about that. But the thing is, why I'm saying this is, we really need to look at this as a very serious matter because I think it's like a disease. We're slowly going to creep into every TPA and everyone going to start demanding this thing. Our patient loves us, but sometimes they have to look at their pocket as well. So when they have the panelship thing with them and they opt to go to another clinic, so bila saya tanya dengan mereka, kenapa saya tak dapat balik benda tu, they don't want to reply to me just because I didn't pay that amount of money. So
okay,
please
thank you, Doctor. We heard you.
Thing. Thank you.
Okay, can we please move on to the next question, please? 3F.
Good evening, Yang Menteri Kesihatan and the panel. No two GPs are equally qualified. And you can't put a ceiling. Each person's gift, or he might have special interest in the field. And the straw which broke the camel's back when I read is when you're going to send enforcement officers to check on our consultation fees. I think that is very unfair. The patient is coming to us, like what they say, they come to us because it's a contract between me and the patient. Okay, whatever the patient is willing to pay me, he's willing to pay me. He's got a choice to choose the clinic he's going to. So why should we put a cap on the price? Thank you.
Can we have question 3G, please?
Hello, 3H.
3H, fine, yeah, please go ahead. Also have the individual in the card 3G to identify yourself to get your mic.
This in to echo what YB has just mentioned about training more GP to be FMSs. Now, not many of us have the ability nor the dedication to go through our local amat program. Some other alternative that has been offered to us are the FICGP and the most recent one MICGP, both of which will cost about 50,000 or 100,000. Okay. And another one alternative pathway that's been offered to us is the MRCGP UK. But however, for us in Malaysia, we are not eligible for the paper. We are, however, eligible to sit for MRCGP International, which unfortunately is not being recognized here in Malaysia. Now, we have repeatedly asked NSR and we have gone through the committee, and the response we get from them was, we cannot recognize MRCGP International because there is no there's no structured training offered. Looking back into MRCP and MRCOG, MRCPCH, there are also no structured training as well. So I just request that perhaps you may have a talk with the NSR committee to consider again MRCGP International as a recognized FMS program here.
Thank you, Doctor. We'll now move on to the panelists to give their feedbacks to us. Thank you.
Hello. Maybe I'll start first. I think we have listened to many comments. Most important thing, I think, I do hope that every one of us know that we have a responsibility, not just to the medical fraternity, but we also have the responsibility to the consumer and to the nation. And we do hope that whatever decision we make is in line with the interests of the nation and interests of the community as a whole. I do see that, you know, some of the suggestions are very plausible, and certainly the ministry should take heed of the suggestion. But coming back to the role of GP, you can rest assured that I think the team here is committed to enhance the role of GP. But having said that, I've gone around the country, I've seen the network of our klinik kesihatan. I must say that if you don't back up, you'll be left behind. It is very important that for the current GP and the future generation of GP to upskill. If not, you'll be left out of the system. So that's one thing. And second thing, about a lot have been discussed about the fee schedule, about MCO. I think there are some contradictory argument on this. But let's agree on something. I think most fundamental is we respect ourselves as professionals. We are professionals. So precisely because we are professionals, that's where the fee schedule sort of set in to set a minimum where we should charge. And we should not be charging less than the minimum. And we should not sign contract which allow us to charge less than the minimum. Because to do that, we are selling off our profession. We should not be doing that. But we also have the interest to protect the consumer. That's why we keep a cap on the maximum. So there's a balance between how much maximum and how low the minimum can go. And with regards to kickbacks and commission, we also must understand that there's a normal trade going on, a business process, market forces going on. Precisely because we are professionals. That's why we don't allow kickbacks. Because we don't allow kickbacks as an inducement for referring patient. So that's the reason why we say we are professionals. But if you allow yourself, subjected yourself to be accepting kickback, discount in order to gain access to MCO, sorry to say, I think you are not respecting your DR profession. So I do hope that all of us can stand united with regards to dealing with the MCO while we are looking at ways to regulate the MCO. The minimum the ministry can do at the moment is to bring all the parties involved together and hopefully can come to a common agreement as regards to the common contractual agreement. If that can be done, then that would solve lots of the outstanding issue. I think there were issues also been raised about outsourcing treatment of NCD. Certainly is a good idea. And I do hope that all of you do take some effort in upskill yourself in managing NCD. Unfortunately, when we put up this Perker B40, initially there was some resistance, but I'm glad to say that I think now we have more than 1,000 GP register for the program. We do welcome all of you to join the program. And although we have initial budget of 100 million, out of the 100 million, 48 million is set aside actually for consultation fees for the doctor. It's the largest chunk of the 100 million been set aside. Of course, some of you may say that 40 plus 20 is a bit too low. But we must also look at the context of the concept of PERCA B40. It is for the B40 low income group. I do hope that each and every one of us here look at it as a CSR. We are here to help the poor. For every extra 5 ringgit we were to give to you, our capacity to screen patients will be reduced by 32,000. So that's the impact if we were to allow extra 5 ringgit to you. So there is limitation we can give it to you with regards to the PERCA B40. But that's one of the way where we can do this so-called PPP, where we do hope that you can get involved. You can imagine that if the initial tranche of 100 million been all utilized, 48 million actually are going to all of you as the initial consultation and the follow-up. So I do understand that, there are certain other issues with regards to enforcement, where we got to back up with regards to bogus doctor, with regards to expediting the registration of clinics. I think we have discussion with Amalan. Of course, there are ways where we are looking at. We do hope that we can expedite that. But I just want to emphasize again that we are all with you. We do hope that we all can work together and build a better nation. A lot of things which we could not do before. I must say that despite your comment, I would like to repeat, we were not there before. Now we are here, and we are here for you. Thank you.
YB Datuk Sri, if I may add, I think 5 main issues were asked just now about the fee schedule and about the MCO, enhanced GP, medical price control, dispensing separation. I think just to make sure all our GPs here, we are very serious. We are really very serious. That's why YB Health Minister already presented this to the Cabinet. So when we present next to the Majlis Tindakan Ekonomi, we will call the relevant stakeholders to participate not only during the presentation, but also during the preparation of the slide and so on. We are very serious. Secondly, when just now you mentioned about how to make sure a person is a bogus doctor and so on, I think when there is a complaint, certainly MMC, the CEO is here, we will take actions. If you receive that kind of answer, you can furnish that to us, we will act accordingly. If you say that it is di luar bidang kuasa, it is di dalam bidang kuasa MMC. Maybe I think you can have the copy of the reply that you receive, can you furnish to us? And just now you asked about what is the type of GP that we want. I think we need to have GP who maintain their confidentiality, enhance quality, ensure patient safety, and the future of parallel pathway. For your information, DG is very supporting of the review of this act. That is why we presented to the Cabinet. And then we discussed even with MMA on all the stakeholders, the presentation and the PowerPoint. Currently DG is in Dublin Island, and this already planned much earlier. And basically he is basically visiting and discuss with the Royal College of General Practitioner Ireland for the parallel pathway to produce more GP specialists, FMS, including to come up with the special program for senior GP to fulfill the stipulated criteria to be gazetted or to be registered as FMS. And this is part of the professional development for GPs. and DG currently in Ireland together with the Family Health Development Division officers discussing on this aspect seriously. That is why he is not able to be with us today. Yeah. And to make sure this is happening, we work together with the Malaysian Productivity Council. Malaysian Productivity Council under the Healthcare Productivity Nexus is helping us to expedite a lot of issues and regarding acts, fees and so on pertaining to private clinic and private hospitals. Some initial session involving private hospital and subsequent session will involve GPs, yeah? And relevant stakeholders will be invited. We met the Ministry of Health met the Productivity Council, all the members of Nexus, and they already committed to help MOH together, and we can work together to help GP as well. And I think the initial presentation to YB Minister will come soon, and will be followed up by some other serious discussion how to help GPs. And with regard to closure of GP clinic, maybe Dr. Ahmad Razid, you can elaborate further. The number of GPs registered is increasing. Now we have 7,857 GPs. So the number of new GPs are more. The number of GP closed actually is quite low, particularly the number of closure of GP because of economic problem. Majority of them are closed because of relocation, because of the rebranding of the clinic name and so on. Maybe Dr. Ahmad Razid can give the actual figure.
Thank you, Dr. Sri. Well, of course, looking at the number of medical clinics, private medical clinics that have been registered from year to year is actually increasing. On average, every year is about 150 to 200 actually is increasing. Yeah? That's in terms of registration itself. No doubt there are clinics that have been closed. As mentioned by Datuk Rohaizat, it's not purely because of the financial reasons or economic reasons. There are also other reasons actually. In terms of the number of clinics closed, in 2017 itself, there are 188 clinics closed. 34 of them, or 18%, is because of economic reason. The reason why we got these statistics actually because whenever clinics close, when they apply for the closure or disposal, we ask for the reasons. Quite a number of them mentioned because of the tenancy agreement, because they have to relocate their clinics and so on actually. 2018 itself, 223 or 15 out of that, 15 closed because of economic reason, that's 6%. And this year itself, 69 clinics closed until May, 11 because of economic reasons actually. So with regards to the economic reason itself, we ask actually the clinic. It's not true that we do not ask those clinics that have been closed actually. Yeah, that's one. Second, in terms of treating the questions or the issues of treating professionals as criminals, I may not agree totally. Yeah, I may not agree totally. It depends on cases. Not all CCAPS officers, whether at the headquarters or the state, act in such a manner. There may be, I cannot deny that, there may be isolated cases where officers may treat differently doctors or clinics based on because of their inexperience, because they are new, because their interpretation with regards to the SOPs, with regards to the guidelines, or with regards to the provisions of the Act differently, because they are new sometimes. That's why we have training from time to time. Every year we schedule training. We want our officers to be trained so that it will be standardized in terms of what we carry out, whether at the headquarters or at the ground level, at the state level actually. In terms of criminalization actually, yeah. From the time the Act has been enforced, 2007, there are 185 cases of bogus doctors. Yeah? Why is this happening? Why our doctors, registered medical practitioners, engaging unqualified people to run their own clinics? Why is this happening? Yeah? Maybe you all can answer that. We don't simply go down and catch you all actually. Yeah? It's because of the complaint that we receive from the public that we have to act upon actually. The reason why we go, because of the surveillance, that's one, because of the complaint made by the public or the patient themselves, or because of the post-registration inspection. Yeah? 185 cases of bogus doctors. The Act itself, the Act 586, yeah? The Act 586 is not only to protect the patients, it's also to protect the doctors or the healthcare providers in that sense, yeah? Or the healthcare facilities. As Datuk Roizan mentioned, it's about confidentiality, record keeping, infection control, cold chain in terms of vaccines. Yeah, these are important things. Patient falls or suicide. There are isolated cases that happen where patient committed suicide, but not in GP, but in a toilet in one of the private hospitals. Yeah? That's the reason why we want to see that there's a mechanism of how to enter close doors of toilets, doors toilet closed, why adequate size must be there, those kind of things actually. Yeah, those kind of things. It happened already. At the same time, we are also protecting the general practitioners, where we say that the certificate of registration can only be given to registered medical practitioners, not to anyone else, not to a businessman for that matter, not even to a foreigner, foreign doctors. They are not allowed to actually to hold a certificate of registration. Yeah? And at the same time, under liberalization of services, no doubt, at that time, 2011, registration in terms of foreign equity is being given for the specialist medical and dental clinics, but not for the general practitioners. No foreign equity for general practitioners. We are protecting the domestic market actually, domestic market for that matter. Yeah? And in terms of the contract, again, yeah, I remember in 2015, as mentioned before, I gave a talk on the issues and challenges in MCOs, yeah, where there are 1,000 GPs gathered together at that conference with regards to the MCOs. And I also mentioned and I urged that why don't we unite? You all came today, we are brothers and sisters here, you are professionals. Why don't we unite? Yeah? Like what we have done today, come together to listen, to ask questions, to seek for solutions to issues that's been there. If we don't feel that you don't want to sign with any of the so-called inverted commas improper MCOs, don't sign it. Be together. If you feel that you need that 35 ringgit as a maximum for the range at the moment to be the fees in the contract, then be it. You have to be together to do it actually. If there are any doctors that sign, even if 5 ringgit or 10 ringgit, then it's quite difficult. You are not united in that sense. Yeah? Even in 2015, I've told that already. It's all about the contract. Yeah? And at the same time, that's why the fee schedule is there not only for the patient, but also for the doctors, to make sure that the doctors will have reasonable fees that they can charge actually. But of course, as mentioned earlier, we are looking into again to regulate MCOs, to enforce. Where possible, we will discuss our legal advisors for that matter. Thank you.
I'd like to address some of the questions regarding FOMIMA. The fee review from 60 ringgit and asking for 80 ringgit. For your information, under the concession agreement, the fee review will be up in 2021. We're already receiving feedback from the association on how to negotiate and all that. So we're working with you and then to forward it to Ministry of Finance to negotiate for the fee review, which is mentioned in the agreement. And also on the digital X-ray, I think a lot of engagement have been done with FOMIMA and the association, and managed to reduce it, the amount, yeah, for transmission cost to 2 ringgit and 50 cents, and no cost for the system and application starting this year. On the clinic Satu Malaysia, we are in phase 1 of closing down those clinics that are having low number of patients coming to the clinic. For phase 1, we're closing down 30 clinics, Satu Malaysia, and convert those that is very active clinic Satu Malaysia to clinic community. So on the issue of MMC, no contact and all that, there's a problem with the PABX system, work in progress to replace the work in PABX. But alternative solution have been taken, that is a direct handphone number which can be contacted and all that. So we apologize for that, but please bear with us. And for one working, the CEO of MMC is here. Later on, he can address to you guys on this. All right, so these are some of the issue raised and which I like to provide some clarification. And on the outsourcing, proposal for outsourcing, as a matter of fact, under the leadership of the minister, very innovative ideas like outsourcing we are embarking on, and we are open to the idea, and we can explore that where we don't have to do that for a heavier allocation, but if the GP can do it, we don't mind to explore on that option. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just have a few more things to add regarding the price regulation. This is a question from Dr. Wong and Dr. Ng earlier. I hope they are still here. Regarding the monopoly and the control at the upstream. When we talk about price control mechanism, we are looking at the whole supply chain, right from the manufacturer to the consumer. So at every level, price will be regulated. And as mentioned by YB, Datuk Sri just now, that in the recent World Health Assembly, we have been the co-sponsor for the resolution on price transparency. That shows how serious we are in looking at the price transparency. Then there's a comment by Dr. Vincent saying that pharmacy shops are selling product without prescription. We hope, please complain, lodge your complaint to us, because, for example, last year alone we raided 105 premises because of various offences. 2017 we raided 155 premises due to various offences as well. So please, if you have any information regarding malpractices, do contact us and complain to us. Yeah? And then, Datuk, regarding the per diem survey, it's not a survey, it's a feedback. We can extend the date, obviously, to you, but then this was sent to the association because we have new issues within the Poison Act that need to be amended. YB Datuk Sri, this regarding the issue of ketum, how we want to regulate ketum, which was never discussed before in the 2015 when we met in Presint. So this is a new one that we circulated. We hope to get some positive feedback or comments from the GPs regarding these new amendments. I guess that's all from me. Thank you.
Terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Deputy Minister Datuk Seri KSU, ya, Datuk Dr. Rohaizat dan juga Dr. Ramli dan Datuk Razid who is leading the CCAP ya, amalan. Dan kepada semua, ya, doctors, GPs that have raised many varied issues, yeah, although some may revolve around the same theme of 7-fee schedule. Ya, kepada semua lah, Dr. Ng, Dr. Vincent, Dr. Zulfikar, Dr. Mio, Dr. Subra, Dr. Pearl, I have them all, Dr. Aziza, Dr. Shahir, and my good friend Dr. Mahendran. Ya. Pada semua yang telah, ya, dan juga yang belum, yang tak kesempatan dan di luar sana memantau kita dalam live stream, every streaming, ya, saya ucapkan banyak terima kasih. Ya. Saya tekankan sekali lagi, the reason why I have this town hall engagement was because saya diberi faham bahawa the GPs wanted it, and they had not had a chance to meet up with us, the top brass, the top management, and I must say that I would really want to have this because I believe that we are not wasting time here. You spend money to come over here. And I again thank you for coming and giving, this comment, this critique, and juga ada yang memberikan cadangan-cadangan yang agak positif, particularly from the younger GPs, the younger doctors who are wanting to see how they move forward. Yeah, when we are pada plateau, yeah, of building more hospital, is not the way to build more hospital. We got to go on digital health now. You got to have new skills in embracing digital health and online health. Online health and digital health is not about to replace doctors. But let me say this, I said this in the World Health Assembly. they are going to replace doctors that fail to embrace digital health. Okay, let me be on a more serious note. Ya, saya tekankan, if ever you have the idea that kami tidak memberikan penekanan kepada memberdayakan dan to empower and strengthen again on GP practices, you should know, former government have klinik satu Malaysia and they displace you. But the first thing that we do when we come in was to have PKB40 premise on giving you the front line of screening, and already I had from the very beginning 300 million, given only 100 million, and 48 million was allocated for the GP practice to ensure that you more than survive. And moving forward, we will ensure that you will have that place, because I for one believe that GPs must go beyond just URTI and the cough and cold. You got to be with us on addressing NCDs. Boleh ke tak boleh? This is the way to go. Dan saya particularly that already, pada awal lagi wanted this of my vision of public-private collaboration is just not rhetoric. I have proven to you that I brought you on board with us on PKB40. Although saya tahu tidak ramai yang masih lagi ada 1040 saja GPs, but I believe moving forward you will embrace this, because it's at the end of the day it's also about volume. And 48 million of the 100 million on the pilot project and 150 million of the 300 million is actually allocation for GPs Swasta. Okay, that's how much I can say, and already we are seeing the buying in slowly but surely. Jadi dengan itu saya juga menyebutkan bahawa on my more enhanced collaboration public-private is my HAC, the Health Advisory Council, and I heard you well, Dr. Mahendran, you wanted one of the rep from GP. Let me just consider that seriously. Yeah, and I know that maybe that is also appropriate. Now, moving on, others lain daripada apa yang telah dijelaskan oleh Deputy yang berhormat Dr. Lee, yang saya kira sangat baik menjelaskan beberapa isu. Saya tidak perlu menekankan kepada semua yang this is the new government. You cannot penalize us for what in the continuity of what not yang telah dijelaskan. Yeah, I wanted to say that, tapi ya, sudah pun jelas bahawa on the new government, the new government with the new policy, kami, that's the reason why saya terpaksa tekankan that we will have collective decision. Although I may have the prerogative right or whatever, tapi kita mahukan perkara itu dibincangkan. This is how we decide in our cabinet. You may not see us being vocal out there to represent other ministries. I particularly very focused on my MOH, but in cabinet we debate, and we debate thoroughly on every issue. Rest assured that we are not just takut kerana jawatan or whatever. No, you find that is very is flawed if you think us that way. We debate issues thoroughly. Jadi dengan itu saya mahukan juga on our 7 fee schedule tu, again when I present this time round, I really want them to have all the support all round. Although in the first round ni saya tahu I face the setback of not getting the buying in, but I believe the second time I present this after Majlis Tindakan Sara Hidup Nasional, I believe we will have that achieved. Yeah, it's already long outstanding. Saya tidak perlu. But if today you want me to announce this, I'm not the finance minister, much less the prime minister. I'm only minister of health. So maksudnya saya akan do my level best, and I said that just like I did it for PKB40 when I mooted the idea of getting the private GPs to do it. Others are saying, hey, why GPs? Why not our own clinics? That was how I was argued against and debated. But because we are committed to have the private-public collaboration, we go all out. And now you are saying this, and for the future, we will be enhancing this further of public and private collaboration. You may not think it's much, but think about it. They have the Clinic 1 Malaysia that displays you. We start off with a game changer or PK B40 on NCDs. We brought you in on board with us, right from the word go. Right. On the other thing yang saya nak sebutkan, on the fee schedule, I think that has been said, a lot has been said. Dan saya took Dr. Pearl punya idea of, I know with your passion, with your concern for the, for the lesser underserved group, golongan berpendapatan rendah, you tend to charge the 35 ringgit for the MCOs punya patient. And that for the bottom 40, some of you may not even charge them consultation fees. A big round of applause for you for having this social agenda. I think this is how our private practitioners, will be a very important critical role in our primary care and primary health care. Other than that, of assurance, on the MCOs, much has been said. I think the way forward is to have the CCA. This is the way to go. On the fee splitting, that's also been addressed. I don't have to repeat that. I think we're very clear. But one reminder is if you, out of your own accord, without any duress, come into agreement, like a willing buyer, willing seller kind of thing, you have the contract done, even though it is below, the charges, because you price war others, then you face the music, you take the consequences. So again, I think in the same spirit as what Dr. Razid and the deputy has made clear earlier on, you would have to maintain your professionalism, remain dignified, not to cow down to the TPAs and MCOs. We will have the CCA agreement done for you, and this is the way for us to go forward. Other than that, saya ingat the DS that's been mentioned, among of my vision that I wanted, beside the EMR, nothing has been said about EMR, but that is a way forward for us to enhance primary health care. When we have not only the public facilities or TPCOCs of our clinic, of the horizontal integration and as well subsequently the vertical integration of clinic to hospital, we want GP clinics to be on board with us in EMR so that you can really enhance delivery of the NCDs together with our public facilities. I think that's the way forward for us, and I really hope that we will be on board with that again. So, banyak yang telah disebutkan, saya rasa sudah cukup untuk saya tidak perlu mengulangi apa yang telah ditekankan. Other than that, on fee splitting, on MCOs and CCAs, seperti mana yang telah dijelaskan oleh Datuk Rohaizat tentang kedudukan Datuk DG, Datuk KPK, yang berada sebenarnya di island on this important, on this important meeting to work out to produce more FMS and GP specialists. So this is the reason why he's away. Rest assured, my deputy and I work very well with our top brass and top management in MOH. The first thing I want to get in MOH is the buying in of all our top management from KSU to KPK and the Timbalan, for them to work with us, the political leaders that provide this leadership and stewardship so that together we will enhance a delivery of the healthcare system. So rest assured, we are one united team, and we're looking at you as part of our team to enhance further our healthcare delivery in our country, because it's not good to be just recognized as the top, living of a destination for the retired, but how the rakyat look at us is when they look at us, the KPIs, the waiting time, the congestion, the ill-equipped equipments in hospitals and the rest. This is why it pains me if we continue to be like this. And I call on the private sectors to come on board, both hospital and clinics and GPs, to be on board with us to enhance further the healthcare delivery of this country, our beloved country. And I thank you again for making times and spending, your time together petang ni. And I hear you well, of all your suggestions. I may not be able to address in each and every single issues in detail, but I think we have noted, and thank you out there, kawan-kawan lain yang viewers tonton kita dalam live FB live streaming. We may not have heard you much, but then we will continue to engage. believe you me, we are not engaging for sia-sia. Kita tidak datang sini untuk mengerjakan kerja sia-sia. That's the last thing I want to do in life, is to have futile kind of engagement. We are here with a reason, and together we want to collectively work to enhance delivery of the healthcare system. Terima kasih sekali lagi atas usaha ini. Terima kasih atas komitmen, and we hope to see you again. And we will follow up with all the resolution that we have. We have together do it. Committed to. Terima kasih. Terima kasih sekali lagi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a safe journey home. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Yang Berhormat Menteri serta ahli-ahli panel kita. Hadirin sekalian, dengan ini berakhirnya sesi Town Hall Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan bersama seramai 826 pengamal-pengamal perubatan swasta. Majlis merakamkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Menteri Kesihatan, Yang Berhormat Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan dan Yang Berbahagia Datuk KSU, Timbalan Ketua Setiausaha, semua Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kesihatan, pengarah-pengarah kanan, pengarah-pengarah bahagian serta wakil-wakil Persatuan Pengamal Perubatan Swasta, para wakil dari media dan hadirin sekalian yang telah sudi hadir untuk menjayakan sesi ini. Dijemput para hadirin untuk menikmati jamuan minum petang yang telah disediakan di foyer di luar Dewan. Majlis menjemput Yang Berhormat Menteri Kesihatan serta div-div kehormat untuk ke holding room untuk press conference. Selamat menjamu selera. Sekian terima kasih daripada kami di Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia.